It's Joe Kelly, Josh Wagner, Josh Lewis, talking about Charles Bukowski, drinking, and alcoholism, and how we all have it.
Let's look at this toilet paper, and it's pure blood red.
Even for us, this is getting bad.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the next episode of Joe Kelly's Van Chronicles. How's it going? I'm Joe Kelly. Thank you very much for checking out the podcast. I really appreciate your time. Your audio version of a mushroom. That's me. Coming to you live from the podcast studio that is the 2000 Dodge Grand Caravan, also known as Goldie. What up, baby? If you want to support the podcast, a good way to do so is by checking out utilizeshrooms.threadless.com. It's a store that I have with a bunch of utilized shrooms gear, shirts, there's blankets. You can get a damn shower curtain if you want to. All of it at utilizeshrooms.threadless.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at utilizeshrooms. Also my website, joekellycomedy.com, K-E-L-L-E-Y. I'm going to be revamping that very soon. There's going to be more videos and the store is going to be better. Just have a nicer layout than what it is right now. A little bit more user-friendly, because really it was just for, I guess, booking, but now I want to kind of just generate my own shit on there. So check it out. If you're like, hey, Joe, I want to support your podcast, but I bought everything at your store. I have every last thing you have. I got a pillow and a lunchbox and a blanket. Well, if you want to keep supporting the podcast, you could do so at my website. Again, Joe Kelly, Again, joekellycomedy.com, K-E-L-L-E-Y. It's there's a donate button. I think it's in the store. I should really check it out. But it's you can donate through PayPal if you want to throw a couple bucks, support the podcast. It's whatever. It's no big deal. But yeah. Thank you very much for checking out this podcast. We have another special edition of Joe Kelly's Van Chronicles. Once again, the Trash Boyz have returned. I was in Nashville, Tennessee for a while. I recorded my comedy album. It was fun, man. It was a good time. I got the tracks back just a couple days ago, so I'm going to be checking those out. And they will be available for purchase and all that shit. iTunes, I'm going to try and get it on... the fuck is that website where you're that music thing where you just stream shit? God damn it. I don't have it, so I don't know what it is. It's not iTunes, and it's not Pandora. It's that other fucking thing where you pay a monthly subscription fee. I'm just going to keep talking about it until I can try and remember it. God damn it, I can't remember what the fuck it's called. You pay for it every month, and you can stream like all the music you want in the world. I can't remember what it's called. I don't have it, but I'm going to try... I'm going to try and get my album on that thing. And I don't know what it is.
You have headphones and you have Spotify.
Anyway, it should be out real soon. I spent some time in Nashville. I recorded an album with my good friend, recorded a podcast with my good friends, the Trash Boyz, Josh Wagner and Josh Lewis. You can find Wagner on Twitter at ComedyManJoshua. And you can find Josh Lewis on Twitter and Instagram at TheJoshFromTN. So they're great. I love those guys, man. We had some fun. I think this first podcast is Josh Wagner was participating in Sober October. I think this was recorded October 2nd. So this was the... or it might have been the first. Either way, it was either the day after or 2 days after. I think it was the first. Josh had decided to participate in Sober October for his own reasons, which we end up discussing in the podcast because it was such a... it's an interesting revelation that he had, I guess. It took a while to get to, too. He didn't want to tell Lewis about why he was participating in Sober October. Because he thought Lewis was going to be real hard on him. But at some point in the podcast, we do talk about it. We talk a lot about a lot of things, as the Trash Boyz do. But I think it's about halfway through or something like that. Because you could tell there's something in the air that isn't right. And it's the fact that Wagner wasn't revealing his reason. But we get to that, and Lewis was... you get to see Lewis's reaction as well. We had some fun. I love those guys very much. Enjoy this episode of Joe Kelly's Van Chronicles with the Trash Boys. Once again, thanks for checking out the podcast, guys.
Sometimes I'll gamble with people because I like to gamble, and they don't want to pay me in money. They'd rather pay me in like edibles or weed.
So you're just gambling with one. This is not through like a bookie. This is just through someone you know.
No, this is not through
You're
a
just
bookie.
betting with a person.
Sometimes I'll just bet with people, and I'll be like, "Hey, do you want to put $25 on whatever game?" And they'll say, "No, but I'm going to bake a batch of fucking pot cookies. Do you just want a bunch of pot cookies?" And I go, "Well, I don't do it, but I know plenty of people that do, so I'll just be the hero of the party."
So if you lose, you have to give them money, but if they lose,
No,
they give you
no, I'll
cookies?
just give them. I'll just buy them like a 6-pack of some dumb
Oh.
beer.
What's your like win-lose percentage on football betting?
Not even any fun.
What's my win-lose on football betting?
Yeah,
Terrible way
on
to
football
gamble.
games.
It's usually about 75%. I usually
Same
win
percent
about,
win.
yeah. But I mean, I don't go all out and fucking bet crazy lines and parlays and all that shit. You don't even know. Do you know what we're talking
I
about?
don't
Joe?
bet sports.
I won a
did-
football
did with
bet.
my
I won a
dad.
football bet. Joe saw it.
Did I?
Remember?
Nope.
I threw a football farther than a girl, and I got
Oh, yeah.
$50 for it.
He never got
Wow,
paid.
you
though.
nailed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also pee standing up in front of her
I
and win a bet?
did. I did. That was a no. She wouldn't. She gets mad. She's a mutual friend of Joe and mine.
Who is it?
She runs her mouth a whole lot.
Oh,
It's
wait,
Kayla.
we
Hey,
can't-
Kayla.
Oh,
it's fine.
yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
care.
it's
She
fine.
don't care.
No, she's a friend of ours.
She'll
and
be
she
happy
was-
that somebody's talking about her.
Yeah, and she
It's
won't,
true.
and she won't shut up for 25 minutes after that. But well, she gets competitive for no reason,
It's so true.
and she's done it so many times.
Did you
that-
have a bunch of brothers growing up?
no?
I think she has one.
Yeah, she has one
Well,
brother,
that's
but
one enough.
yeah, but not. I don't think
I
that.
bet her dad was just like, "I'm so glad I have a man in this house." And then he looks over at her and he's like, "Bet you can't throw a fucking
I think her
football."
stepdad plays a violin. Though.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't that kind of household. Like
No,
it
she
wasn't.
had to be the man of the house.
Yeah, it wasn't that kind of thing. But she gets like
football. I guess it's
Somebody's
gonna.
gotta
I
fucking
guess
have
it's
a
gonna be the
swinging-
6'1" lady.
she went on this huge long thing trying to get me and Joe to agree on something she'd been thinking of, and we're like, no. And then she started challenging me to fucking sports things, and it ended up she was like, I can throw football farther than you, and I was like, I got a football, and she bet me $50.
It wasn't even close.
$50.
It wasn't even close.
We used my football. I aired it up too. I made it nice, and it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even
2 out of 3. Wagner smoked.
With just distance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
it
even
was-
accurate.
It was like 2 in the morning on Wagner Street.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm playing fucking receiver
Yeah,
with
Joe,
my goddamn flip flops
yeah.
on.
Every
fucking 2 in the goddamn morning, so these fucking assholes go, "No, I throw football further than you." I'm like,
everyone
"You can't."
agreed Joe could throw it the farthest, so he was
Yeah,
out
they
of
wouldn't
the
even let me
bet.
Yeah,
play.
Joe's the
They
most
wouldn't even- they wouldn't
athletic.
even let me
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
in.
he was
though.
out
That's
of the
not
bet.
fair.
He
That's
was
not
way
fair
out.
though.
You broke my finger one time with a knuckleball.
I did do that.
I was so I
Fucked up
I
your
was
finger.
less mad that Joe broke my finger, and I was so much more mad that I knew how to take that ball in, and I reached out to grab the fucking ball and broke my fucking
The
finger.
knuckleball with the football, though, is a very strange beast to fucking handle.
It
It's,
really
it's
is.
a weird thing, but it's
Footballs
fun to
in
throw.
general
It's-
are hell on your fingers. You look
Yeah.
at
Oh, yeah.
look at receivers' hands.
Have you
Have
saw
you seen
that?
that stuff?
Oh yeah, have you saw that picture of Odell Beckham having his I think it's his ring finger on his right hand bent completely backwards?
Yeah, it's nuts. And the
Just from a
ones-
game on Sunday where he's just like, yeah, my finger's a little bit sore, and it showed like a stop motion of his
Oh,
finger
Jesus.
just getting bent backwards.
Yeah, like because and the ones especially you can see. I forget who it was, but it's because a lot of them, like a big thing with the receivers is their hands are so big. So if you have like a 3-foot long crooked finger, it looks especially scary. Like it's bent in like 4 places.
Torrey Holt that used to play for the
I think that's
the
what
Rams.
it was. I saw.
His finger is forever just like laid across his other fingers, like an almost a 90-degree angle from here to here.
Like they just crossed each other.
Yeah, well, just his. I think it's either his ring finger or his index finger is just laid across.
West side the whole time.
It's no,
I don't know what you're
no.
saying.
Okay, so I don't have
No,
a
know.
mic stand.
It's just like a like
Tupac.
like if your finger had an elbow. I don't know. Like if your knuckle went the other way.
If your finger
You know what I
moved
mean?
like a dog's leg,
Yeah.
except left to
like
right.
an ostrich leg. Ostrich is more
Okay,
sort
so-
of than backwards.
but imagine
Your
that
finger can
instead-
bend like this. Imagine if this was this. Like, you know what I'm
This
talking
is
about?
great radio.
I don't know. If this was like this, I
If it
still
bent
don't
the
know.
other way.
Like backwards?
No, like the other way,
Like sideways.
horizontal.
Sideways. You're saying if it went like that.
Yeah. And then
Whose
that's how it
finger
is.
did that?
Yeah, well,
Torrey Holt?
Almost everybody who played football.
Torrey
Good
Holt.
Lord.
Well, yeah, a lot of wide receivers.
It's got to be a thing where it breaks, and they're like, we could fix it, but we do surgery, you're going to have to miss games. Or like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a deformed
I
hand.
think it was Ronnie Lott that, like, the end of one of his fingers was like ripped off, hanging
Wasn't he a
off.
lineman?
He was a linebacker, I
what
think,
you're
for
talking
San
about.
Francisco.
Okay.
And it was like,
my helmet or something.
yeah.
Oh, I saw that on the internet. That's all I
That's
got for
the
this one, guys. Wasn't Brett Favre notorious for throwing the ball real hard?
Yeah.
Wasn't that something
A
he
lot
did
of these
just
guys,
fucking would
'cause-
just whiz it for no reason,
Yeah.
really?
Well, a lot of these
Fucking
guys, they
5-yard
have to
pass,
fucking
just
work it
gutted
into like a little small circle just for them to catch it. So they throw it as hard as fucking possible and as fast as possible. Next thing you know, this dude reaches his hands out and just gets fucking his hand shattered. But he's the hero of the game if he catches the touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the scariest thing. I've never because even when one of your friends can just throw a ball real hard, it hurts your hands to catch it. And
Yeah.
that's like nothing compared to these guys. Just
You ever caught a baseball with your palm,
yeah.
like with the glove?
Yeah,
that
that goes
hurts.
smack
That
real
hurts
hard.
quite a bit too.
And that's just like backyard high school stuff.
I broke a kid's hand my sophomore year playing baseball. It was the pitcher. I hit the ball and it hit the backside of his glove hand and just like shattered his hand. It was pretty cool.
Sounds cool.
I didn't see it, but I was like, yeah, it's pretty tough, huh? How about that? How about that?
There was
story?
something, and you know
Y'all
this
talking
from
about other people. I'm talking about me, what I did.
well, you know this from like playing high school sports.
Hit a baseball with somebody.
Real hard. It broke his hand though. Real hard. You know, dude, it's straight up the cock, as we would say.
What?
That's what our coaches say. You go hit it up the cock, and that man hit it straight.
Did you guys ever have any coaches that would just do like some, well, not like sexual, like molestious stuff, but talk like that
Well, I
to
had
you?
some- I had some of
But
Yeah,
those.
we
you've been molested?
Oh,
You've been molested?
many times. Played a lot of sports.
You could get some
Played
money.
a lot of sports, boys.
Why does Joe keep wanting to sign up for all these sports teams?
Golf, tennis.
Tennis.
Yeah.
I'm about to give you the backhand and a little 9-inch love. For all you tennis fans out there.
Love
9
means
inch love,
the
what's that?
zero. The score's tied. I think. Love.
Yeah, I think love
okay,
means
okay.
the score's tied.
We
That
had
means
coaches
Joe's got to
that-
fuck him. Then.
Like, yeah,
that were
we
definitely
fuck
a
each
little
other.
too like crass. I feel like looking back, like I quit, but I played like middle school football for like 2 weeks before I was like, this is hard, I don't like it. And some of the coaches even then were like already talking about like, oh, like so and so's getting some from so, and then like they're talking about like 13-year-old kids,
Yeah.
like fucking each other, you know. But
Oh.
but like just being like, oh, Travis is happy, he's going out with Jenna. I know what you're doing later tonight, like stuff. And I feel like that was a little weird.
Talking about kids getting pussy?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's a little weird, right?
I don't think that ever happened.
Isn't that kind of strange?
I got in trouble for saying asshole when I was playing football.
Really?
Yeah, my asshole got hurt. So I said,
Like
"Ow,
you
my-"
just
I
like
said-
strained
I
real
said,
hard, or
"Ow,
did
my
somebody
ass-"
punch you in the
I
asshole?
think we were just sitting on it for a long time. You know, you got the tailbone pads, and it was just a hard. They were sitting on
Hard
it for a
fought
long time,
game.
and I stood up, and then my asshole hurt, and I was like, "Ow, my asshole!" And it goes, "Well, we don't say that word." So I can't imagine them talking
Yeah,
about.
it was.
Oh, dude, there was all kinds of vulgar. As long as you
You're
didn't come over and be
slamming
like,
Sarah back
"God
there."
damn it, coach!" As long as I got out there and he's like, "Are you beating the piss out of him, son?"
Beat
And
the piss out of him.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, that was me whenever I was like 12, 13 years old.
Piss is the, at least from what I know.
Was the coot thing?
Is this coot? Is this?
Yeah,
is
this is Cootie over here.
If you can hear
Coot's
coot,
on the mic.
what do you think, coot? There you go. I still think you should do those more. That ask the coot thing's funny.
No, ask the coot.
Ask
Yeah,
the coot.
well, I just
Well,
don't
you
get
just
that fucked
Get a
up.
little drunk and you just ramble. What about
A
the
little
boy?
drunk.
Come take our guns.
I forget what I'm saying halfway through.
It's
and
fucking funny. And then it's just you cat meowing. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
all-
you should do that more. It's really funny. Maybe it's
Okay.
just to me, but it's fucking. I think
Is it
that's
still-
really.
Oh, people love it. It gets more. It gets more likes than anything else
it's
I
so
do.
silly, but
I can tell everybody I'm doing a show and I'm real happy.
and you did like the
all that.
theme song at the beginning where it's like fucking like
yeah,
like
like
Leave
not-
It to Beaver or Ren and Stimpy sort of thing where it's like it was so funny. I love that.
I'll have to get a new one here.
You
soon.
should do them, man. That's a real funny thing.
We'll have to think. We'll have to think of some questions. Ask the old.
He asked the
coot.
coot any. Who calls 9/11 coot? I think it might have been the government. Yeah, exactly. It's just the cat answering. It's a good bit. Sorry, I derailed the whole sports
Sports talk.
That's
Sports
fine.
talk.
Now, welcome back to Sports Talk.
You were talking about piss. I think piss.
Beating the piss out of
Piss?
something.
Yeah, piss.
You beat the
yeah.
piss out of it.
For me, was kind of understood as like the worst word you were allowed to say.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Occasionally
mean?
you could say ass if you
Oh.
were real fired up.
I never could. But
My
like,
fucking JV coach, we were playing. It wasn't even like a Christian school. There was a Christian school in our district, but he got a flag for saying "God damn it" on the sidelines. The ref threw a flag. He's like, "No GDs, coach."
yeah, I mean, you're gonna.
Really?
Yeah, there's like I don't know what rule that would be, but he threw a flag and we had to go back 5
But
because
physical violence amongst
he said
like,
yeah,
God.
it's
He was
the
like,
only-
"No GDs,
I
sir."
saw a video today of a Christian
ridiculous.
school, and the team carried a cross. Like
Did just one of them and the rest of them beat the hell out of them?
they like. It was like I think more schools should act like this school, and they carried a cross onto the field and like put it by their bleacher or whatever. It was the weirdest thing I've ever
They
seen.
set it on fire afterward.
They all had tiki torches and shit.
Yeah, no. Where
No.
was the school?
It was a Christian school. I don't know.
Christians. Yeah, but it's probably in the South somewhere then. Maybe.
Probably
There's Christian schools other places.
The
They're just not
Christian
as
school-
popular as they are
like,
down
like,
here.
They also
Catholic schools are probably more prominent.
That's what
Straight
it
up
was.
Just like weird, like free fellowship Baptist Academy, which is just like 6 kids and their brainwashed parents, something like that.
Catholics threw. We played basketball. They fucking hit our coach with snowballs when we showed up.
Really?
Yeah, they got in trouble. But it was like, yeah, those damn Catholic kids.
We had
I didn't like them. One of them shot me with paintballs.
a Catholic kid.
Goddamn Catholic.
Were you making fun of the Virgin Mary or something? Like, what were you doing to deserve that?
Probably, I don't know. I don't even remember. We might have been playing paintball. But I don't think I had a gun.
That son of a bitch is playing paintballs.
He's like, you want to play paintball? I was like, sure. He's like, go hide in the woods. Then he found me and shot me.
Yeah, that's on you, Joe. I hate to break it to you. That's not a Catholic
I think
trick.
it's just a game.
I didn't. Whatever. He was in my neighborhood. I thought that's, I thought they'd be
You don't
nice.
believe what he did during dodgeball. Let me tell you.
What'd he do?
He'd
We
take a
don't?
ball and throw it right in my damn head.
Oh, did you get in trouble?
Here I am thinking we're playing a game.
This motherfucker's trying to hit me.
He starts throwing balls at me.
Yeah. I didn't know any better. I was like 12. What was I supposed to know at that point in time?
But somebody could shoot you with a paintball gun.
Well, I thought we were
how you-
friends.
How you play paintball?
I didn't know.
What do you think he was gonna? He didn't run out with the paintball gun and be like, "All right, found you. Your turn," and hand it off.
Now you shoot me.
Yeah, I thought that was we take turns or something, but it was just like duck hunt where he just kept shooting me.
Oh God.
It's like,
And
it's
you
like-
weren't the
he's
dog.
Like, yeah, he's like, you lost. Go hide again.
You hide again?
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck yeah, he did.
It took 3 times before I realized he was up to no
Hey,
good.
wait a minute. This isn't very fun for old Joe.
And then I had to go home and I stepped on a nail, so I had to go get a tetanus shot after that day.
Oh, tetanus shots are the worst.
It was a terrible day.
never
Well,
had
have you
one.
been shot by a paintball gun 3 times and then had to get one?
I got shot in the top of the head one time at point blank range. That sucked.
With a BB gun?
No,
Or
with the paintball gun.
I remember for some reason I was so dumb when we played. I had just like regular shoes on, just like some Nikes or something like
Yeah.
that, some old shoes.
Oh,
But-
now he's
and we're-
bragging. Some like Jordan.
Yeah, I mean it was just like really fly.
Yeah, that is true, too.
When,
Yeah,
when
I
was
got
on the
my Air
paintball
Force
field,
Ones. I have
always-
these 2 pairs. Like one pair is my play pair. And sorry.
I had these shoes that
PF
that matched my
Flyers.
mask and then matched the paint I shot. You know,
Whoa.
everyone was super jealous.
They're all
Professional.
pink.
But for some reason, I thought that just because like it was a shoe, that it wouldn't hurt if I shot myself directly in the foot with the paintball.
dude.
I was like, it's a shoe, man. Like it's not gonna go through a shoe.
It's there for protection.
And I shot myself like I fucking barrel to my foot. Shot myself in the foot.
Shit hurts like fuck.
Yeah, it was a big learning moment. That,
You
that
had
day.
you had like the big air
Well,
tanks
oh,
on
for
yours,
sure.
right? Not the little bitty ones.
I played both.
So, yeah, I'd always play the small ones.
You
It
get
was
5
usually
shots and you got to change it.
oh, it's very few, and but it also gave the other person a chance. It was like reloading a gun in like the old west or whatever, and that's the reason why I got shot in the top of the head. Is because I was hiding behind something. He came up on me and was like, "Do you surrender?" And I was trying to unscrew it and screw another one in. I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Do you surrender?" I can't hear you. And then he shot me in the top of the fucking head.
That's
And
what you get for being foolish.
oh yeah, exactly.
You were trying to trick
oh,
him.
it hit so hard that it made my fucking bottom jaw like clasp, like clink, and then my ears went for like 3 hours.
He bunkered you is
Is that what it is?
the paintball term.
I think he just shot me on top of the fucking
Yeah.
head.
Cornered is
Whenever you like
being-
run
being
right up
bunkered.
on when you run right up on somebody and shoot him, that's bunkering. them.
I'd just surrender.
I would too.
Lewis is strong. I'm not. What? What did you say? I said I'm gonna kill you. What? Lewis is getting water now.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Might have been. Oh, you're helping your cat out. I thought that was gonna be for you.
No, it just makes loud noises.
I was gonna make funny for it, but since you're not doing that,
Once again, great radio.
yeah. Well, it's sober October, so let's drink tequila.
Yeah, so for your listeners at home, if you're participating in Sober October, so is Josh Wagner. So turn up your bottle of orange soda.
He's got a Fanta,
Fanta.
or we got a little tequila with no
This is
salt or lime,
the-
but we're still gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, I don't have anything.
The Mexican Fanta, so it's a good kind. It makes everything real interesting when you drink it.
Drink the Mexican whiskey.
I do it like the trash cast.
Everything's
So way to do the
fun.
trash cast with tequila and beers, except if you're Wagner now.
Wagner, I will say this. I've known you to be sober around drunk people more than once.
Yeah.
I call that my adolescence. Now, you're doing that as a grown-up. And how do you stand
This
it?
is being so shitty right now.
I don't. I mean, I haven't done it in a long time, and I normally don't do it. First of all, you guys aren't drunk. Let's not act like you guys are just
We're getting there.
No.
fucking rock starring over here.
Oh, no.
You've had. I don't know what you've been doing since you've been here,
Heroin.
but
Straight.
Joe's had a
fucking needle
beer.
dope.
I mean,
I've
it's
had this is number 18.
Ooh.
Get out of here.
18
These kind of
beers and a dozen
situations-
roses.
We're not talking about being drunk. We're just talking about
These kind of-
sober October. Don't get so defensive.
no. What am I talking about? Being drunk. These kind of situations are fine. It's never bad when you like someone comes to your house or you're like going to your friend's house and everyone's drinking. You're like, I don't want to drink. That's fine. Like what happened like the other night, like after that show when we were all
Cobra.
housed and Joe was there sober, and I kept looking
Cobra.
I kept looking at Joe and be like, "There's no way you're having fun." I was like, "There's," because everyone was lit. I mean,
Sober
just,
amongst the drunks.
Well,
and I'm talking, we were drunk.
I had taken one mushroom cap earlier the night.
Well, that makes sense. I didn't know.
But no,
that.
it was still very unenjoyable.
Friday night?
Yeah. I took it right before
Yeah,
the roast.
Oh, really?
Because I wasn't drinking, and I was just like, I got to do something.
Yeah, I know you were just like slugging water.
At the beginning, I was just like, oh, this just feels... Because I already felt bad, just because from between last Tuesday and Wednesday, just how much I fucking drank. Like, I felt like I did shit. My body just felt bad.
Yeah.
So then taking the mushrooms, like, oh, why did I do this? And then, anyway, but...
Did the mushrooms
Yeah.
make you feel bad?
Yeah, they sometimes do if I already feel bad.
Oh,
I
really?
already felt bad when I was taking it, so it just kind of... But afterwards, it felt
It made you
fine.
feel physically worse or mentally worse or both.
Physically, and then a little bit just started thinking about how bad I felt, sort of thing.
Like your
ugh.
stomach hurt and make you queasy.
Yeah, just my
Okay.
whole body. Like my body already felt bad that day, so it just was like you just felt it even more. Like, oh, your body feels like shit right now, dude.
Your just body went through so many toxins.
Yeah,
it
and
was just-
in my fucking brain, it's just like if you drink a whole bunch and then like the next day you feel shitty because you're hungover, but then if you don't drink the next day, it's like I feel my head just feels fucking shitty.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like
slow.
I cannot get my brain together. It
hazy.
just feels fucking off, and it's like, but I didn't drink yesterday, and I haven't drank today, and it's just like you're just poisoning yourself.
You have to get
I felt real shitty on Friday. I felt terrible.
It makes you wonder how the Ernest Hemingway tops throughout like the world have just like stayed drunk, or maybe
Well-
it's just a facade. Maybe they just pretend that they're always that drunk.
They stay drunk. I think that's the answer. You stay drunk because
Yeah.
if you like,
That's the easiest thing to do.
I've done it. I mean, I've done it. 6, 7, 8 days in a row, to where you feel so bad when you wake up and you gotta go to work, or whatever, and you're like, I'm not drinking. And then 5 o'clock comes, and you're like, well, I have one beer before I go home. You get that one beer, and you're like, I feel kind of okay.
I feel a little better.
and
I
then
feel much better.
And you get that second beer, and you're like, I feel great. And then fast forward to 4 a.m. again.
It's the same
you're like,
thing.
You're
I've
getting-
done
you're
this
getting
a
lift
few
ride
times.
home.
Just a nasty cycle.
Yeah, I've done this a few times, and I figured in my mind, my stupid mind, I was like, okay, this fog, this haze will go away, and it'll just be like, I'll be normal. I'll just have to be drunk all the time. And I was totally fine with it at the time.
Aren't
it
we
seemed
all
like-
at some point? in
Yeah,
time?
it seems like a good
Yeah,
idea.
you
And
start-
then I tried it, and then I was like, oh no, the fog and the haze stays there. I'm just now drunk and don't care if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
stumbling around on everything.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, if you look at a lot of those people who did that, number one, I don't know if any of them had very successful like personal lives outside of what
the
Personal
art
loss?
sort of.
Yeah, like
Well, I mean, Ernest Hemingway shot himself in the
right,
fucking
yeah,
head.
he comes on the head
So,
also.
I mean,
like,
he had a pretty good.
But who's the Bukowski?
Yeah,
too.
like he was
Charles
a
Bukowski.
I love that. The Love is a Dog from Hell. I love that book, but it's
Oh,
all
it's
just
really good.
about being drunk and just
Yeah,
fucking
being-
heartache
being-
and
being by
fucking up
himself
and
and
shit
people
like
getting-
that. And,
But
you know,
also, if you read
go, nah,
Post
nothing's
Office,
that good anyway. Who cares what happens? Sort
you
of
read
thing.
Post Office by him. He talks about the reason why he drinks so much is because he hates his fucking job. So he even says something about there, and he's talking about like the color of the beer cans, like these silver tall cans, and the only reason why he drinks them is because he hates his fucking job.
His job is writing, though. That's what he does.
No,
Well,
well,
when
not
he
at
was-
that
yeah.
time.
Oh,
He's working at a
okay.
post office.
Okay.
I think it's something. It's something that's
You gotta
hard.
cut two?
No, we're going to have to change batteries soon.
No, it's
Well,
how soon?
we
how,
just
how much time we got?
we can do. Let's just
Want
just
to go
change
until
it.
it does?
No, just change it right now. There's no sense in fucking cutting off something that might be good. So just cut it off. We'll just cut it off. Come back to Bukowski talk.
Okay.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. It's the Trash Chronicles Part 2. We're here in Nashville,
This one.
Tennessee. It's Joe Kelly, Josh Wagner, Josh Lewis, talking about Charles Bukowski, drinking and alcoholism, and how we all have it. Josh Wagner.
Oh, he's not got it. He's going to stop for an entire month. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like,
No, I don't
mean,
either.
me talking shit about you aside,
I'm
I
going to
could-
make him slip up because I'm leaving next week.
No, I'm not. I might if you're leaving.
We
next
got
week. Yeah,
we
maybe.
should do acid and blow.
at the same time.
Might as well.
That'd be fun.
Wouldn't it be interesting?
That'd be all right.
You got to experiment a little
That
bit,
seems
ladies
like
and
the
gentlemen.
worst idea. You
I've
put
heard it
this-
kills the kills the psychedelic part. Like I've heard of people who like took shrooms or acid and were tripping too hard and took some speed and calmed down.
I did mushrooms and coke when I was in Vegas, and it was very unenjoyable because it was like there was still like a mushroom vibe to it, but it was like you're just more into the mushroom, like you're just thinking about it and shit like that. And just being in Vegas is an awful place. I didn't like it.
I've
And,
never
you know, nobody was getting shot there when I was there, and it was still awful to me.
It seems like a place where Vegas seems like a place where it's just
Oh yeah, baby.
yeah, topical humor.
That was a good one.
If you'd like to be a sponsor on Joe Kelly's Van
Yeah,
Chronicles,
just
email 1-800. I'm glad the hurricanes happened. Email 1-800.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm not even drinking.
Email
I'm just
1-800.
dumb. Just a dumb person.
Well, that could be his email address. Is
That's the worst
1-800,
part.
I'm glad that. I hope now everybody that listens to this changes their email to a 1-800.
1-800. That's the worst part about like giving up drinking for a while. Is it's like you have to be like, what if I'm just a dumb piece of shit? Like
I've
what if
never had
that's
to worry
the,
about that.
Yeah, like
we are.
what if I'm just
You have a problem where you think you aren't.
I don't know. I think I give myself more shit than I.
I
Yeah,
think
you
that-
do.
I think the
Then I
first step
should.
is acceptance.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like like, oh, I gotta quit drinking so much because I've been late to work every day for a week, and then you stop and you're still late to work the next 4 or 5 days. You know, like
Yeah,
Well,
but
also there comes
you're such a trooper. You're never late though.
I've
Who,
been
me?
I've been doing like my 3-4 minute late stuff.
That's
every-
not bad
you know what I
though.
mean? Like that
You're
kind
never
No,
like
no, no.
you know. You're just
if you
in
get
there.
past 10 minutes, that's whenever you got to worry.
That's
If
when
you're
you
10
got a
minutes late,
drinking
every-
problem.
Yeah.
So crack one open, buddy. if you're only 3-4 minutes late, you could have a couple
Or like
with your friends. Come on. That's how
We're
it
just saying we
begins.
miss our
That's
friend,
how
man.
it
You're so
begins.
different.
That's how it
I know.
goes. Oh,
Ever since you quit drinking, you're just so different.
I know. I've
We
been,
don't
Oh.
even know who you are anymore.
it's terrible.
well, guys, I'm sorry.
I just want my buddy back.
I don't want my buddies back. That's why. That's why I'm enjoying this sobriety
I
so
wanna move
much.
on.
I just feel like that kid waiting on his dad to pick him up to go fishing, and he never comes.
I feel like that kid is just waiting for his dad to pick him up to go drinking, and he never
Just
comes.
never comes because he's too drunk.
Or he's too sober.
He's too sober. And he realizes he never wanted a kid to begin with.
Never wanted me around.
Just to get inebriated,
All
just
right.
to enjoy it. Enjoy his pals.
You know what? I think I'm starting to see your point about being around people who are drinking.
Yeah, see? Yeah. It's so fun.
It is miserable. If I ever quit drinking, I swear to God, I probably won't be around drunk people.
Well, that's part of the things. I think that's
I say probably.
It's a bold statement.
part of the reason I want to do it for an extended period of time is because to see if it really will make me do something else. Like, because I a lot of times will have the highest of ambition to read a book or write something, really work on something, and then I'm like, but I'm going to drink because that'll make it better. Like, don't you write better when you're drunk? Like, doesn't that make it better? Isn't it going to make you like the book more if you have beers in you? And then you do that, and you have headphones, and you have Spotify, and listen to music on my porch till 4 a.m, getting pissed drunk. I won't accomplish anything.
Well, I think the deal is
You get
that
good bits out of it.
sometimes,
Sometimes I mean,
You sit there and just think about shit, listen to music.
sometimes
I know, but I mean, that's just like enabling. That's a fucking enabler's fucking attitude.
Well,
towards it.
exactly.
But at the
that's-
same time, there's a part of it where it's like there is like a.
that's something you
It's
tell
like
yourself,
a romance
though.
to it. It's like a romance sort of thing.
I was thinking it slows down the creative's brain because I have about 1 billion ideas that I think might be good in a day.
Yeah.
Do I keep any of them? No, but
Most of
whenever,
them are garbage, though.
99% are garbage.
Yeah.
But whenever
You get drunk and you find the good ones.
if within 2 to 3 beers, I kind of filter that out. And if I got a pen and pad or I'm like, typing or something, I can get all that out. But it's like the
It does
fourth,
fuel the
fifth.
madness sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
there is it's like a fuel for madness for
Well,
sure.
that's the deal. Like,
Well, I was going to say the
what's
fourth
what
or
we're gonna-
fifth beer is what really fucking, instead of like, me rolling with it and like making more creative stuff, it counteracts.
Yeah.
If you could stop
You
at
push
3
that
beers.
limit.
Yeah, if you could stop at 3 or 4 beers or
who
a
the
couple
fuck?
liquor
Like,
drinks.
like if I could do that, it would be fine. Like that's the deal.
Yeah, nobody can do that.
Yeah, that's the deal. Who could ever like?
I mean, people can.
That's
I
Have
think
you
there
ever
are
saw
people
these
that do.
monsters? These monsters
that's
that can
yeah,
do that?
That
These
seems
horrible people?
seems impossible.
No, I had my buddy's dad growing up. He would drink one.
Drink one. Yeah, there's a
one-
difference between one and 3
bush
or 4.
with dinner, and that was it.
A Bush beer
A
with
Bush
dinner?
beer. Might have been
Of
a Bush
all
Light.
beers?
Might have been a Bush Light.
Oh, even
I
worse.
can't remember.
All the fucking terrible flavor of Bush
No way.
and not
you
the
get
alcohol.
30 of Bush Light. My dad drank Bush Light. It's cheap.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
fridge
cheap.
full.
That's the reason why you drink it.
Yeah,
you
but
don't have one with dinner to be like
It's refreshing.
to help out your
It's
Salisbury
not
steak.
any different than fucking Coors.
If you drink something enough,
little
you do like it though. If you drink or eat anything,
Yeah,
enough,
whiskey's great.
You'll like it.
Whiskey is a good.
I love tequila,
It's got
man.
a good taste. Tequila's not bad either.
Like
But
like
whiskey's
Red Bull is my
nice, man.
favorite tasting drink in the world.
Red
and-
Bull is.
And yeah, I love it. It's my favorite tasting drink. But
Oh, boy.
Disgusted his voice. So Red Bull is.
when I first tasted Red Bull when they first came out, I was like, "This is fucking medicine. This is terrible." And now I
Yeah,
love it.
it's
I love
poison.
it the most.
To me,
It
it
has
tastes
this-
like what rat poison
It
probably
has a
tastes like.
metallic taste to it.
I
All
love
energy
it.
drinks.
I love it.
do.
I-
It's very metallic.
I want it out of
like
the
it
can too. I like it out of the can the best. It makes it better.
Where else do you get it from? Where else do you get Red Bull from?
Yeah.
I mean, you can like pour it in a glass. You can get it like out of a gun. Like some places have
No,
it.
yeah,
that's
they do. They
Monster
do on
and
tap.
stuff like that.
No,
I've
you
never
can
seen
get-
Red Bull out of a fucking
You
gun.
can get Red Bull out of a gun. I've
No.
gotten
By the way,
gotten
we
Red
mean
Bull-
like a soda gun. Not like we
I've
put it
gotten
into
Red
a
Bull
cannon
from
and
a-
shoot it in
No,
your
no,
face.
from a
fully
gas station.
automatic.
From a
Fully
gas
can't
station
even
like
fucking say it.
soda
Then
machine.
that's not Red Bull.
Motherfucker, yes, it was Red Bull.
All right, sure. What gas station?
Getting
It was.
riled
It was.
up. He's not
I
even
know.
drinking. He's
I know
getting
he's
riled up.
sober and he's fucking mad.
I mean, like, why am I gonna lie about this? Like,
Yeah, that is
what's
true.
what's
Well,
fucking
Well, I
lie
don't
about
know.
it?
said
I
you-
don't know.
Like,
I do understand that too.
It's not something to lie about.
Which
I'm
more
not
fun to
saying that
pick on
you're
you right
lying. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying you might be a little confused.
I went there specifically because someone said, "Hey, Josh, you love Red Bull. This gas station has it in the soda fountain. You can get a big ass one for like 99 cents. You get like a huge."
Yeah, then you woke up from
believe
this
it.
dream
like
that bullshit that somebody's fucking been feeding you.
I bet it's there.
Yeah, now everybody's against me.
I like how it's just like the one drink company that won't put it in a bag and sell it to. Sell
Well,
it to
no,
bars
that's the
or
reason
whatever.
why. That's the reason why I'm giving a bit of an argument about it because that's the only one I've never saw like easily sprayed out of a gun.
Most people, I think, don't do it because the can makes people want it. I think like when you put like the little refrigerator and people will be like, "Oh shit, yeah, I am too drunk. Give me a vodka Red Bull." Like, I want to stay awake.
Oh, I read a whole article in National Geographic one time in a waiting room about the guy that brought Red Bull to the Eastern world or
Yeah,
Western
world.
sorry.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's I think
And
it's
the
a,
Eastern world, too, probably.
Yeah, he did it all.
it's a cool story. But yeah, they
He's a
they
toothpaste
gave up
salesman.
on
Honestly, he was.
like marketing and stuff, and they just took it to clubs and gave it to people like in the can.
Well, after a little while, I mean, he was from somewhere in Germany, and he was going over and he was doing like toothpaste stuff over in like his like quadrant or whatever was like in Asia. So he was like going to Bangkok and stuff. So he's getting in cabs. He was seeing these cabbies that had to work like 17, 18-hour days, and they're just slugging this fucking silver can of shit. And he was like, "What is that?" And they're just like, "Well, it's something in Asian." And then he gave and they gave it to him. And he drank it, and it made him feel like a fucking champion or a monster or whatever. And he was just like,
It
"Oh,
makes you
Jesus."
feel good,
A
man.
champion or a monster.
It makes
Which
you
is
feel
that's how I
so-
feel every time I drink Red
so
Bull. I
fucking
could
good.
either be like you don't know what to do with that power. I could be
It is
evil.
the best to me. Like I like coffee. I do like coffee. And
I like
I-
coffee.
what I'm trying to do better for myself, I get coffee instead of Red Bull, but it's not the same.
It's not.
It's nowhere near the
definitely
same.
not.
Coffee
It
is
used
like
to be back when you didn't drink it. When I first started drinking coffee, I was like, "Holy fuck, what is this?"
oh, see, I
And
never.
now it's like nothing.
I started out on energy drinks.
Yeah, I started off on coffee, and then then coffee's not enough, so you get coffee in a shot, you get like a red eye, and it's like then they start feeling like nothing, and then you get a fucking latte with 4 shots, and they feel like nothing. It's like Red Bull. It's like holy shit, this is something different.
It's something completely
It's
different.
a fucking
Yeah.
boost.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Oh, man.
Like I could drink just a regular cup of black
Such
coffee.
a junkie.
I'm
Jesus
good.
Christ.
I can't like.
It's like this
And he's-
isn't enough. Let me keep moving on.
I used
And
to
Joe
drink.
started tying off and cooking coffee, and
Boiling the grains down. That black tar.
black tar coffee.
Decaf. It's fine, guys. It's just decaf. Don't worry about it.
I can quit anytime I want to.
It's just for the flavor.
I just like the motion. I just gotta.
Yeah, it's the ritual.
It
It's
keeps me on fire.
decaf. Don't even worry. Everything's
Do you
fine.
think are there people? Have you heard of people who like quit shooting up but still like shoot something into their veins
And
just
still fucking like just use a belt on their arm.
yeah?
I was talking about that with somebody tonight. Like it was a Connor about like a. Is there such thing as a? We had this conversation. No shit. Is there like a placebo heroin? Like is there like sugar water you can shoot or anything like that, or something
mean,
that's not heroin? Just so you.
There's
got
got to be like that stuff, like
Saline. type
saline.
Stuff, yeah.
You can put in, but it's still I don't.
It's weird though.
No one could give no one could
so
safely
weird.
give that to you. That's the thing. Like no one could allow you.
But once
You're
again, I
saline
don't.
in a needle.
Yeah,
But we
You know
just
you're
made
gonna do
fun
good
of.
things.
We just made fun of like the ritual of doing heroin. I don't think anybody like falls in love with the ritual.
Yes, they do.
I bet there is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it do.
yeah.
Really?
If
I
you're an
love the
addict,
ritual of rolling a joint, man.
dude,
I really do.
every single thing
It's
like
different.
you do.
Marijuana's not
No,
addictive.
yeah, but
But the whole process of it is still like I
It's
just
the same
like the
thing.
ritual of breaking it up and fucking making a filter. And
Sure.
it's ritual shit.
yeah,
It's like cooking it. Like people, yeah,
Is it burning spoons?
yeah. It's a ritual.
for sure.
It
And-
is for
and,
people.
And
It
there's a
just
certain
is.
way. There's a certain way you do things. I had a friend who told me that him and some buddies like smoked meth a handful of times, and he was like, "Dude, it wasn't even like the drug, like doing meth. He was like, it was seriously like the way we got it, and then we like crushed it up, and then we like, and then you put it in
Yeah.
a thing, and like it was
We
like
go
the
hide
whole
in the woods and we
yeah,
go
like
to this one tree every time and then
Yeah,
we
like-
smoke it.
like it was like the whole experience of
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
that, which
yeah.
is which is why they didn't get hooked on it forever, I guess. But like when
I can see
when I
that with
smoke cigarettes-
cigarettes. I can see that with drinking. I for some odd reason with a drug that makes you stay up for 3 days straight, like meth, I just don't see it. I just don't, because I never saw anybody do it and then be like, you know what I really miss about meth?
People talk about coke that way, where it's like the whole thing
Oh,
where
Coke's
like you cut
different,
up
yeah.
a line and shit, but you could still stay up for like 3 days off it if you got enough.
Well, yeah, if you had like
But I don't think-
$600-700
a lot of
worth.
money.
Well, it's the same thing with meth too. It's not like you smoke meth once and then you're up for like 3 days. It's like you
right,
just
it
keep
is a
doing
gradual
You
it's a
keep
gradual
doing it.
process.
It's
Well,
the
no,
whole
well,
thing.
maybe I'm thinking like crank or something like that, like dirtier.
What is crank?
Crank? Is
It's meth.
It's meth, basically. So it was it was described to me by
Basically,
Cold meth, is it like the
cold meth. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've told you this
cold packed
before.
meth.
So you cook meth,
Yeah,
and then you make it into this powder or whatever that you can smoke or whatever.
or crystal. Is it hot meth, crystal meth?
Yeah, I guess so. I've only seen crank once, and it was like this orangey, gooey looking, almost powderish. It was very weird, and everybody's like, "You got to crack open a light bulb." This is just the
Oh.
indictment of where I grew up, but. You crack open a light bulb that's full of fucking mercury. So
Yeah.
something else that could
there are
make you go
things you can there's
kooky.
things you do to get it out. They probably weren't doing it.
Salt.
Yeah.
You put salt.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
just
light
the
bulb
salt.
and-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I made a vape pen for
A weed diffuser.
Yeah.
It
whatever
looked
you
like
call
it.
it.
Yeah, it looked like it was like something you'd smoke meth out of, but I just use it for weed. whenever
Yeah,
I'm
so
busy.
people were like
But it's
doing that,
bullshit.
and they offered it to me at the time, and I was just for the first time I've ever had good judgment, where I just went, I don't think this is a good idea. Something about me smoking anything out of a light
Yeah.
bulb.
Boo!
Sorry, everybody.
That would be neater if you did.
But you cook or
Yeah,
you make
we'd have something to talk
crank
about.
or whatever in a bathtub, and I always heard that you have to fucking crack open batteries, like AA batteries
I mean,
and shit.
there's all kinds of shit they put in it. I don't know, but I still think, like, not to get off. I think that every drug, now once you're strung out and it's just about getting the, and like when you're crazy off of it, I think you're right. It could change, but I think there's something with like every single drug use, every getting high or anything, that there's like a ritualistic thing, and there's a way you
Definitely.
want to do it. There's
Yeah.
a way you like to do it. There's a time.
Yeah,
You,
and that's
you,
like
you
ancient
like to do
shit.
it.
that's that's like ayahuasca ceremonies and shit. Like that shit's thousands of years old, but they do it the same way. It's like a ceremony. It's a ritual thing.
Right.
People do it drugs. They do it all over the country.
I've
They're all
done
over
it.
the world.
420, I've heard, is a good time to get high.
Yeah, it feels good to do. Well, okay, there's no point, but no, but like the reason that
There's a point.
Oh, can we also say
caught on.
Josh Wagner is totally sober.
Sober
Totally
October,
sober.
baby.
Sober
His
October.
fans is gone. Get a diet.
I'm back to soda water now.
He had a
Me and Joe are drinking.
he had a like a week ago or so. He had a Coke and then he had a Pepsi, and he was like, I forget what.
No,
you
it
said.
was a Coke and a Diet Coke.
No, you had a Coke and then a Pepsi. Wednesday at that show, you had two.
No,
Were you
bro.
blindfolded? Was it like a challenge?
It was a Diet
You
Pepsi
had different brands. Okay, it was a Coke and a
because
Diet
because they didn't
Pepsi.
have Diet Coke. Yeah.
But you're like, I forget what you said, but it was so funny.
I think the cat's coming up here calling you dirty names.
No, another sober night. But that's the shit you do too.
That was a sober night.
It's still like something, but you always got to put something in. Like you said, there was one point in time we had this conversation where you're like, you always got to put something in your face though. Even if you're not drinking, it's always got to be something you're putting in your face the whole night.
That was the thing. Is
Yeah.
like I was like, I'm not buying beer, but I'm gonna have a drink I want. Like it's
Sure.
it's gonna be a fucking thing that I'm gonna do. And especially it helps. I'm not gonna lie that I cracked it open with a ball opener. Like I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm still doing this thing.
I bought
where
a
I got
box-
cans of which I'm gonna grab cans of soda water.
pop open.
That I can
Yeah.
pop open.
You can
I
chug
bought
if you
a-
want to. They're not that hard to chug.
So I decided to stay
Oh.
sober last night for the first time in probably 3 or 4 weeks, which, I know, it's just
Last
normal.
night was the first night off for you.
That's just normal me.
It's been rough
Yeah.
since I've been back here, man.
Yeah,
I'll be
well,
honest.
because
I'll be
that's-
fucking honest with you. It's
Yeah.
been fucking rough being back here.
We're coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, the first trash cast was in Seattle when I was feeling okay, and now I just feel real bad.
Do you know Nashville
2
has
weeks of this
100 drunk assholes that move here every day?
It's amazing how they can get here.
Adding to the 200 that already live here, it's fantastic.
That's the reason why there's so many wrecks on 65. So I stayed sober last night, and what did I do? I went and fucking bought a pizza.
Oh, that's what I did last
That's
night.
always the
I did
thing
the
to
same
do.
thing.
It's like,
I
I'm
went
going to
and
drink
bought
and
a
I'm going to
pizza
treat myself.
and
We're not drinking.
Same exact
Yeah,
thing I did.
absolutely. Yeah.
That
What-
junkie
what
shit.
I
kind of
have
pizza
to
did you get?
replace it. It was called Fighting Tomato.
Oh, so you got a frozen pizza?
Yeah, I got a frozen
Okay.
pizza.
I got
Fighting
Jets.
I
Tomato.
baked it. I ate most of it, and then I went back to the grocery store because I was like, it sure would be
He
so.
goes, I got jets as he scratches his forearm.
Yeah. Just keeps on smacking that vein.
It was good.
It's like I got jets. It's just funny.
And then I went back to the grocery store after I got done
Is it
eating
just extra
half
tomato?
of
Is that what it is? Like extra
Nah,
sauce?
it's
No,
it's just a brand.
dumb name.
Oh, okay.
It is.
And it was on sale and it was big, so I bought it.
Well,
aren't-
what kind of pizza was it?
They aren't
Just
great.
pepperoni pizza. It's that stuff that's in the refrigerator that you looked at. If you'd like to take a sample of it and, tell.
Are we gonna?
I'll tell you right now.
We can
it's,
start pizza taste testing
it's a-
on the podcast.
It's a fair to Midland pizza.
It's okay.
I want
it's
to make
okay.
that a podcast, the Pizza Party podcast, where you get a pizza from a different place and you all talk
Do
about
it.
how good it
Oh,
is.
it's so good.
We'll do it 2 times a day.
As long as there's no booze involved, I think it's going to be all right.
you get one in the afternoon, one in the evening, then you get drunk and have them both. So you get 3
Oh,
podcasts
that's
a
even
day.
good. That's
I
even
saw.
better.
Yeah, I
I
saw.
almost said even gooder. That's
I know
that's
we
a
said earlier, but
Yeah.
really it's pretty good.
You want to experience it on all levels. I was a little stressed out when I tried it the first time.
I'm gonna cut this part out. I don't want to take this idea. This is a good idea.
Dude, I saw this guy. This was a weird. I don't know how I found it, but this guy was doing a pizza review.
and he looked just like me in a mirror.
He was sad.
It's crazy.
He was sitting on a bed on the floor wearing dirty clothes,
Stare at the beer cone.
and he had a pizza in the one hand and a photo of a girl in the other.
But the photo of the girl was a chick holding a pizza.
pizza reviews.
No, but he was. It was a guy doing
I was
pizza.
hoping it started out with like an electric guitar. Pizza reviews.
I don't know if this is gonna make it funnier now, but it was
stumbled across it.
no,
Hey,
it was
my
because I
name's
was
DiGiorno
I was
Jan.
watching some kind of like pizza.
video.
Yeah, I was watching a pizza video. I was watching.
The only way to get to it is by watching some kind of pizza video.
I'm about to get so drunk.
We're ruining Sober October already.
Pizza
Can't fucking do this.
I told you.
I was watching a video on how to make. It was the
yourself be No, sorry. Go ahead.
The guy was making the pizza from the Ninja Turtles movie. He was showing you how to make that.
Domino's?
No, the
Dude, Domino's sponsored the first Ninja Turtles pizza.
no, this was
Or pizza movie. I mean, movie.
This was New York street pizza from the first scene. It was not Domino's. It was just like that New York, like pizza you just go buy from little shops.
You mean the one where they like slip the money through the fucking grate?
No, this is like one of the opening scenes, and like it's going to all these New Yorkers, and the New Yorkers just eating this like pizza, and it's coming.
Just a dude eating pizza.
Well, it's like everyone's got a piece of pizza in their hand, walking around, and but there's going to like just those shops on the street and buying a slice of pizza.
Sure.
And it's called like I've heard some people call it like a utility pizza. I've heard it called different things in New York.
Utility pizza.
Yeah, like
I like the name of that.
Yeah, like it basically where like to where you are like just
I
like
do.
super busy, and you're like you gotta like just grab a slice of pizza and you eat it on the way to something else.
Sure, yeah, just have some sustenance to get you through.
And there's it's like a certain style, and the guy he makes food from movies and from TV shows, and so he was making the Ninja Turtles pizza, and that led to a guy doing pizza reviews who was saying anti-Semitic things, which is what I was trying to get to the whole time.
Anti-Semitic things?
That's what I tried. That's the whole point I brought it up, was to point out that I stumbled across a guy.
It's too bad Joe went to the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. And he missed it, and now he doesn't get to know because he's the reason it was so slow to get out anyway. But yeah, he was like, it was saying something because like it was in New York too, and he was going around. And he would just get like slices of pizza, single slices, like the same thing, and he would try it. And there was this one, and the sign had like out in front of the pizza shop. I had a sign that said like not kosher. It had like kosher with like a X through it.
Okay. And that's where he went. Obviously.
Yeah. And this guy was just like, yeah, like they don't mess with the Jews here. They don't mess around with the Jews here, and like just eating his pizza. Like, fuck. Now it's over. Now Joe doesn't get to know
I don't even want to know.
because he wanted to laugh.
I just had my own laugh in the bathroom by myself. You guys still talking about pizza?
Yeah, it's sort of, kind of.
Oh,
Mostly racism.
I know about pizza. I don't need to hear anything else. I know enough. I don't like it.
I've never.
Sober October, baby.
Vroom, vroom.
Oh.
I do have another frozen pizza. I keep on calling it microwave pizza, even though I haven't stuck that pizza in the microwave in a very long time.
Never do that.
Oh, I used to put Tostinos in the
I
microwave.
did that
That's
when I
trash
was working
shit.
at the radio station in D.C. and it burned.
Oh, that's the best thing. It could have happened.
No.
So you didn't have to eat it.
My guy, there was a guy I worked with that I knew from Flint who had moved down there. He was my program director in Flint, and he lived at the same radio station. But he blamed it on a guy who would shit his pants.
We blame what?
He blamed the fact he's like, it smells like burnt popcorn in here, and I think it was that guy that shits his pants. And I never,
Dude, if
I
when I
never
shit my
cleared it
pants,
up that it was like, no, it was me burning the pizza. I was like, no, it probably wasn't. The guy that
Probably,
shits his pants.
Poopy
that's
pants.
like real. That's a real like.
Well, he's like a 70-year-old dude.
Specific
He fucking-
shit smell,
he
though.
lost his, yeah, it
Oh,
smelled.
wait. So he was shitting
just-
into like a diaper.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
worked.
Well, that's a much nicer way to put it.
Yeah.
That guy who shits his pants.
Boy, he did shit his pants. It's the same thing.
He's that blind deaf guy who shits his fucking pants. You know, the idiot.
I didn't say he was an idiot. You guys,
He's
you guys
always-
assume that. I
Or just a
thought
guy
there
that
was
wants
guy
to
who
stay
shit his
playing
pants.
too long. He's like, I just want to stay out here and I want to play.
He walks around here saying something about fighting Nazis and shitting his fucking pants, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah. It smells like burnt pizza, and I'm tired of it.
I let him take the blame.
I think that's probably dead by now, so it doesn't matter.
He might still be working there, but
Wow.
either way,
What did he do? Did he just
he was
clean
was
up all
a-
the shit
No,
stains?
he's a DJ.
He was a DJ. That
That's
shit
like
on
my
himself?
theory is like the whole radio station thing is he spent so much time sitting on his ass because that's what a lot of people do in radio. And it's just like his butthole just gave up on him just because it was like
Is that something that could happen?
it might be if you just sit down a whole lot. I feel like your butthole might. I don't know. I don't know if that's. I can't listen. I have no science backing that.
What is okay? But can you walk me through like what led you to that possibility?
Because you're just sitting on it the whole time.
Your
Like, what
body
do you
just feels like you're just,
just-
sitting on a toilet all the time, so your body's like, well, it's time to shit, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So it just gives up. Like the muscles don't work.
that makes the
It makes perfect sense.
I mean, as far as logic goes.
Okay,
Perfect.
explain
You
it to me. Explain it to me better.
You think like walking around makes your butthole stronger?
I
You think it flexes your
I
butthole?
think standing up. Yeah, it does.
Just standing
Well,
up.
listen. Can you shit standing up? It's very difficult. If you sit down, it opens it up. The muscles are relaxed.
Once again, the logic is there.
It's
Okay, go ask him yourself then.
I want to. Is it Google? Is this okay
Yeah,
to Google
Google
in
it.
this
Let's see if
podcast?
it-
Can we
yeah, you
Google
can
on
Google
something?
whatever
We'll
you
have
want.
to talk about something else.
Does
while
your
you're Googling.
butthole not work if you sit on it too
Sitting
long?
down too much. And what's it called? Like incontinence?
Incontinence, I'm pretty sure.
Incompetence.
Competence to fucking be able to shit.
It makes your butthole incompetent of working. It did always smell like poop though when I went in because I'd work on the weekends from 3
Like
a.m. to
pure
11
shit?
a.m. It
Like-
just not pure shit, but it definitely had a hint of poop.
You know, it's weird because
Not pure, but just a little dash.
it's a sprinkle of duty.
Yeah, just a bam, just a bam of shit.
Really go see it.
It was a big room. There were fans going, but it's still.
There's nothing about it causing your butthole to give out. It does look like it could maybe make women pee too much or pee.
What makes your butthole give out? Search that.
What makes your butthole?
Might as well. I don't see any reason not to do that.
Phrase it like that. What makes your butthole give out?
Yeah, please do.
So it's gotta be a Southern fried explanation on what makes your butthole
Maybe
just
Southern
just
model
grip.
get up
Gravy
here.
and dark meat.
What makes your butthole?
Next question.
Yeah.
Siri,
Yeah.
what makes your butthole give out?
Says here science and racial diversity.
It does say that? Oh. Well, it's official. I have a buzz.
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
just
I do too.
this
Well,
just says
butt
it
fucking
doesn't
does.
say any.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, Google is not going to oblige that search at all. It's not even.
Well, go to Yahoo then.
It's
Go
not.
to
Yahoo Answers. That's where you get all that.
MSN.com.
I'm getting stuff about hemorrhoid, burning diarrhea, rectal
Burning
prolapse.
diarrhea?
Back to
I'm-
prolapse. That's something.
I
that's
got
when
okay.
you're-
Here's the thing. I'll give me a look at this BuzzFeed article. 22 things you should know about your butt.
Sure, that'd be fun.
Okay, because this something might hit.
Tell me something I don't know, Wagner.
Well, speaking of which, I got to go pee.
You're gonna miss a couple things about butt. Joe, did you know that butt acne is totally common and also treatable?
Can we talk about the thing, Wagner?
Man, he's gonna give me so much shit.
I
It's
know,
gonna
but
piss me off.
But it'll be fun. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. with it.
I'm not uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm just gonna give me fucking so much shit for days.
How
it's
much
gonna
shit
be-
have we given him over the
I
years?
know, but he deserves it.
Can we do it?
Sure.
Okay, it'll be fun.
Sure.
Go back to the butthole article. It'll be fun. We'll slip it in. I'll slip
I
it in.
have
I'll
fun
slip
with
it
the
in
butthole
real
article now.
smooth.
Yeah, I bet. Number 2,
22 things you should know about your butt. Go.
baby wipes. Baby wipes aren't just bad for the plumbing;
It's so
they can
uncomfortable
be
you
bad
stood
for
up.
your butt too.
Wait, what? But baby wipes are bad for your butt.
A lot of people get allergic reactions and contact dermatitis from baby wipes. You want to use soap and water and regular toilet paper instead. If you have a particularly sensitive bum, use a mild soap with
You're
no added perfumes.
Better off using toilet paper and regular soap and water. That's ridiculous.
Okay, here's you can get melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, on your butt cheeks, even if you've never bared your ass in the light of day.
Well, that's just scary.
You ever had the sun on your butt? Feels good.
I don't think I ever
Not
have.
at an advanced age.
Well, yeah, let's not talk about
Sometimes, listen, you ever get a chance to find you get a backyard you got? Pull your
Have you
butt
got a
out.
fence?
Pull your butt out. Just do it early.
I
do
get-
it,
I
do
get-
it 7:30.
I get
in the morning.
sunburn real easy though,
I
man.
bet you do.
I do.
But just have it for a minute. Sun on your butt feels good.
What number are we on as far as butthole facts?
This is 4 now.
Yeah, he read the whole
Yeah.
description of 3.
I mean, I took a pretty good pee.
It's surprisingly common
Pretty good. Still
to have
difficult.
itchy or burning skin situations going on in the butt region.
Uncommon to have an
Is that
itchy
No,
butt?
it is common.
Is that the well, yeah, because
A lot of patients
not
have
wiping good.
psoriasis
Yeah, exactly.
or eczema.
My butt itched the other day, guys. I'll be honest with you.
Ugh.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that the worst?
It is.
It's fucking terrible.
Have you seen the video?
so bad that
There's
Korn wrote a song about it.
There's a
Really?
Yeah, it's called Ass Itch.
For real?
Interesting.
What album?
It might be.
It's got to be one of
Life
the first
is-
3.
The second one,
Yeah,
Life is
makes
Peachy.
sense. Yeah. There's a video you can find on Instagram or YouTube of just a kid walking through the mall and just digging in his ass. Just real deep. It's hilarious. You know, because now, as an adult, you got to go to the bathroom to do that.
There are a lot of things about hemorrhoids on here.
Oh, dude. Have you guys had roids yet?
No. The last 7 have been.
Have you had a hemorrhoid, Lou?
I've had a few.
We had this
Really?
talk.
Really?
Oh, you didn't hear the
Terrible.
talk the other night?
No.
Oh, dude,
Maybe.
I had one that made me fucking faint.
Who are you
That's the
talking
only time
about
I fainted as an
Carter.
adult.
Oh, sorry.
What? Carter?
I just outed somebody for having
Yeah,
hemorrhoids.
he's probably had hemorrhoids.
That's fine. Yeah.
You had one that made you faint?
Yeah.
They're just sores.
The first one.
They're sores inside, your
No,
rectum.
they're protrusion on your butthole.
They stick out?
Oh, yeah.
Made you faint because you were so scared you found it?
Well, I had no idea. Okay, so here's the story. So I was in my early 20s, probably, actually late teens. I was probably 19 or so. And we're getting drunk during the day, and we're playing backyard football. And that's back whenever I was athletic and I could run faster than most people. And so...
What do you mean, most people?
Yeah.
I
feel like-
the ones that I live next to in the
Let me look up
big backyard.
if bragging gives you hemorrhoids.
I'll go ahead and say, hopefully not now. So I slipped
Nah,
and
it
fell,
doesn't.
took like a punt return or whatever, right? And I slipped and fell because we're playing like the gravel of the
So you
driveway.
fell on your butt.
Oh no, I fell on my side, but I fell hard enough to where I felt like it just jarred the fuck out. of me.
Yeah.
Like I had about 4 or 5 beers, and it hurt me. Where I was just like,
Did you say how old you were?
Maybe 19, 20,
Okay.
20 at the most.
21. You were 21.
I was 21 years of age, and nobody contributed to the delinquency of mine.
I was-
Statutations.
I was 19, but in the Army, so.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, my grandpa talked about that. Stealing beer trucks.
So, anyway, so I go to work the next day, and I was just like, my asshole hurts. Well, it wasn't the work the next day. Sorry. It wasn't work the next day. It's like the day after that. Like I had the normal amount of, well, actually, I had a normal amount of beer shits followed by an abnormal amount of beer shits. So I was peeing out my ass the entire day.
Blood?
No, not that I recall. I was wiping a whole bunch because you have to. Yeah, I'm a modern man.
You have more, your bowels are affected more by stuff than any person I've ever known.
Oh, as
that's
far
not
as-
even, I mean, just by the way you talk about it.
Oh,
My
It's not even-
grandma gets diarrhea when she eats lettuce.
Jesus.
You're on
Yeah.
your way.
No.
That's-
I get diarrhea because I drink. I take.
Never mind. No,
I
no.
take.
Forget
I'll
it.
just be honest. If
It's
I
not
take,
from the vegetables. I'm not a savage.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying if I take the week off, I have normal solid logs. If I
Yeah,
drink
but you
as much
like,
as I
and this is,
normally
and
do,
once again, this is not like, you
no, it's
like,
fine. Call out my bowels.
like you will like, you'll get a cup of coffee and like it'll touch your
Oh,
lips.
that's different, dude.
It'll touch your lips and you'll be like, oh, it's coming. Like just
Yeah,
instantly,
yeah.
you know.
You do that. But that's usually on Wednesdays, too. Right after
That-
a
okay,
good
that
long
is
night
fair.
of drinking.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
oh, boy,
That's what I'm saying. It's
this
all
coffee's going to make me poo-poo.
coffee does make me go doo doo.
I love it.
But drinking makes me
It's a
go
fast track.
spew. So anyway, so I had a whole day of that, and then I had to go to work the next day. My asshole feels real weird.
Okay.
Like,
Back
just
to
like-
the hemorrhoid. I forgot we were talking
Oh
about
yeah,
your
yeah.
hemorrhoid.
That's what we're talking
where
about.
going.
That's the main
Your
topic.
first hemorrhoid. Go on.
It's a magical time.
Is that okay to call it a hemorrhoid? I don't know.
Oh, you could call it like a hemorrhoid
Ass warts.
with a blood clot in it because it
Oh,
was
Jesus
it was one of the
Christ.
worst hemorrhoids you could have, and that was my first one.
Was it because you fell?
That's the only thing I could think of. And I told the
Yeah.
doctor that, and he was kind of like, yeah, that, just stuff like, and I was also a smaller dude, and I was working on a shipping dock at the time, so I was always
you're
straining.
straining
like,
She had a
Yeah.
blood
Church your
clot in
buttholes.
your hemorrhoid.
yeah, so the
Good
hemorrhoid,
Lord.
yeah,
At 19.
which I had no idea. Yeah, because I fucking grew up
Just
as a
a-
man.
You know what I had
I
at
didn't
19?
take sober
A
October.
17-year-old girlfriend. That's what I had.
Yeah. No, that's hot. That'll also make you faint.
She had some.
What's
Never mind.
Go on, Wagner. Come
Say
on.
it.
If that was a Coors, it had already been said.
Yep.
She had some pain in her ass too. It wasn't worth it with the pause. It wasn't.
Nah.
Yeah, not now.
It was about just butt fucking. That's what it
But
was about.
fucking,
Sure.
listen, mature 17.
So I go to my factory job.
Single parent household. She had to,
Single parent household.
she had to raise her siblings and stuff. She,
Yeah. And I had to help. Sure, I'll bring you Taco Bell on your lunch, baby. Gotcha.
It's the first time Joe fainted because of butt stuff.
Never. Never have I fainted ever.
You just crossed the line.
Yeah, whoops. I'm sorry, everybody.
You fucked up, dog.
Yeah, dang.
Finish with your story, Lou. Let's go.
Blood
Anyway,
clot.
so
Let's get
My
blood
ass
clot.
blood
You almost
clot,
died. I wish you would have. Let's
butthole.
go on.
my asshole's hurting pretty bad.
Faster than everybody else in the world.
Everybody else.
Hemorrhoid. You.
Faster than
clot.
everybody
Yeah.
else in the world. Anyway, so I go to the bathroom of this factory I'm working at, and my asshole's feeling real weird, and it hurts and all that stuff, and it's real sweaty feeling, like total swamp ass, which we can all agree that we've had.
This is even for us. This is
Just-
getting bad.
This is the longest hemorrhoid
There
story
never-
ever.
Well, it's because you guys keep interrupting.
Well, I know, but it's still
sorry.
just long anyway. We're trying to punch it up. Even for us, this is.
Hey, I'm just
bad.
trying to be real. I'm just trying to keep these roids real. And so I go to the bathroom, and I was like, I'm gonna wipe the sweat out of my ass, and I fucking wipe. And for some odd reason, I was like, let's take a peek. Let's look at this toilet paper, and it's pure blood red.
Jesus Christ.
Like somebody fucking stabbed my asshole. And
Welcome to the Van
so I
Chronicles,
and my
everybody.
face slaps the side of the stall, and I slide down it a little
fainted?
bit.
Like,
Fuck yeah, I
you're
did.
out.
Just
Have
from
you
seeing
ever
the
wiped
blood?
your ass and looked at it, and then it be pure blood?
No.
Yeah, it's
I don't
pretty
look at
scary.
it. I would never look at it.
Why would you not look at it?
Why would you look at it?
Because it might be pure blood.
You gotta check. You don't check your wipes?
Like when I'm pretty much done. Yeah.
When you're pretty much done,
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I
make-
want to see what's going on every time.
with you wipe in the middle.
What?
Okay, so I said I check my wipes, and you said I check my wipes when I'm pretty much
No, when
done?
I'm like pretty much done wiping. When I'm like, okay,
That's
that's
gonna
got to
be-
be.
Oh,
getting...
so the last wipe,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
No,
oh.
I don't look at.
Okay, I thought you meant that you're like, yeah, when I'm pretty much done.
I
I'll-
check my wife's is gonna be the name of this episode. For
I think,
real.
I think it's a public health thing.
You guys remember, like, I don't know, 55 minutes ago, we said, all right, we're back talking about Charles Bukowski.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about Charles Bukowski the entire time.
I think we got. I don't know. We'll cut.
Drunk. I know what I'm
We can
getting.
cut this
I'm
out.
getting drunk. Is the problem.
Because it's sober October. That's what we're supposed to do. Do
The
you wanna
last
do
time
it?
I was so
You wanna do
hungover,
another
I
one?
couldn't get drunk. Well, actually, I did get drunk, I'm sure.
We're getting drunk, except for Wagner.
Yeah, here's a shot.
I'm being good
Why are you being good, Wagner?
because I want to better myself.
That'll be the last one I drink for a minute.
Yeah, that's okay. Take your time with it. Because you're just sitting here, you're having a good time. You're not trying to fight anybody. So you're doing okay. No, now you're getting riled up. If you get riled up, Wagner might have to check it.
Great. Get beat up by a sober lady.
Or
See, now he's so sober he can't fucking find the humor in that.
no. Something happened, Lou.
What? Wait, what happened?
This is going to be fun.
Wait. Well, go ahead.
Someone punched me in the face Saturday night. 'Cause I fucking drank a shit ton.
A woman?
No, a guy punched me in my face.
Okay, now I understand.
Sober October.
That's exactly it. The guy punched me in my face. You're the last person I wanted to know.
Why? What?
I thought
mean,
you'd just
I'm
be
not-
disappointed in me and mad at me.
No.
That's what I thought.
No,
That's
not
what I was
at all.
scared of.
I've been punched several times. Dude, I just watched the whole fucking video. What's 45
See,
minutes?
I'm so glad. Not that actually makes me feel better.
I watched 45
Oh,
minutes.
see, he
of
wanted
stuff.
you to be mad at me.
Well, I just thought you'd be a little bit funnier about it.
Sorry.
I feel bad
I'm just
about it.
looking out for
Instead
my
of going,
pal.
"No,
I feel bad. I
I
feel
completely
genuinely. I'm so
understand.
embarrassed of the situation.
Okay. So rarely does somebody get punched in the face that didn't deserve it.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I did deserve it, but it wasn't like I wasn't being. I decided to disturb a dude who was like.
Remember, this is Wagner, and
That
he
he
makes
was
things
like-
worse than they are, though.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So like
It's really not that bad.
Okay, so what
It's not
it
that
really
big
it
of a
really is.
deal.
I'm not. I'm okay. Before I tell the story, I'm not embarrassed of what happened. That's fucking life. That's everyone gets in scuffles when you're young when you drink. I'm embarrassed of what could have happened and the fact of how much trouble I could have gotten in and what I could be dealing with now as a result. Like that's the part because we talked this before, and I'll get to the story, but we talked about this. I probably talked to both of you about it. It's like what tears me up if I drink a little too much And like even if I do something that's not that bad, so even if I just say something to somebody that I normally wouldn't say, then my brain instantly goes to like, dude, what wouldn't you do? You know what I mean? Like
you can do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like that's where my brain goes, and that's why I get just like cripplingly like depressed and anxious when I get that drunk period. Like I've been not passed out, but I've been like crazy drunk just at a friend's house. Just like me and one buddy who's my friend, taking a lift home, woke up in my bed and instantly been like, "Oh, you did something bad last night."
Well,
And-
yeah.
You know,
That's,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
one of my best friends in the world, his mom used to say, drinking X amount of liquor or whatever, or a certain type of liquor, let's say tequila for this, makes you take back things you didn't steal.
Exactly.
And because it makes you just wake up and just go, oh, Jesus, I know I've done something bad.
And like
It's the devil. The devil comes out. It really does.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a religious thing,
And-
but the devil fucking comes out at some point in time. Your devil, your little fucking demon thing that's in your head.
exactly.
I used to call
And,
it the
like,
evil
And
twin
if you're
brother.
not drinking, it still pops out when like at 11 o'clock at night or something.
every
If
now
you're
and
not
again.
drinking, it still fucking comes
it's gonna
out. It's like, well,
and so
let's
that's
do
what
something.
that's what fucked me up about it was like that part. I was at a club that we do shows at, you know, for the majority of that drinking.
Can you mouth that at me so I'll know which one? I know.
Yeah,
Exactly
so
which one
like,
it is.
luckily-
Never mind, I'm sorry, I know which one it is.
Luckily, I made it out of that. You know what I mean? But like, who knows if I didn't? You know, like, what could I have fucking burned there? Like, and so it was just it's all that makes me feel like a piece of shit, and
That's
it's all
a weird
that.
thing too, where it's like because you made the point the other day, and it's not that bad of a point. Where it's like you got a vodka soda, whatever it was, and then you went. And there was like people doing 7-minute sets, and you finished it off and went back to the bar, and it was like they were fine with it. And I've done that too.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you?
Yeah, it was like, dude,
You just
I
feel
was
weird
drinking.
about it. It's like I get a double whiskey.
Well-
Let me finish it off and go back to the bar within like 5 minutes. And like, yeah, here's another one for you.
It's something.
It's like,
Can I also say me being a bartender for so long, I noticed that.
Well, and these guys didn't give a fuck, and they didn't know, and
because they
and
don't-
it's not their responsibility either. You know, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, actually, it is their
but
responsibility.
not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. For
it's-
yourself. I'll give you
right.
2 doubles in a row, but after
Legally.
that, I start dialing you back.
Which is another reason I didn't want to say the name of the club, just because we are not that it would matter.
Absolutely.
But it's so, and it was just, and I think what it was that set me off like that, because we had a show Friday that went well, and I got fucking housed. And I was talking to you on the porch, and I was already getting kind of sad about drinking so much, and I was like, man,
The mythic porch.
you're like, comedy should be the drug.
yeah, I was like,
This
and
is on the porch of
I'm
Cobra.
Sure.
Or
Okay.
Fubar, whatever
Yeah,
you want to call it now.
I felt really guilty because I was like, man, I feel like I just came out here to party tonight, and I had a good set and all that, and the show was kind of set up for that. But when I got that level of drunk, I was just like, man, Joe, like I feel like sometimes I just do comedy to drink, and it should be about doing it should be about doing the set, and I know for a fact my shit is not as organized as it should be because I sit at home and drink all the damn time instead of just eventually getting bored enough where I pull out and like get my, not even writing more stuff, but having it, here's what you've been working on the past 3 weeks, like not losing jokes, and that's alcohol too.
In AA, they call that a moment of clarity.
Yeah, I mean, that's the,
So I've heard.
yeah, and that's the thing it was, and I seriously that night went home because Joe took me home, and I laid down and I really did. I thought about like, do you need to quit? Period. Because it was, and when I had that thought, which is something we could get back to the Bukowskis, what I was going to say about that, I had that thought of like, shit, like it worried me how much, considering not drinking alcohol anymore, how much I was like, man, but I'm not going to like my favorite music as much. And like, what about the times we're just sitting around a fire? Maybe that's not going to be as fun with my friends. And it became almost like every aspect of my life. I was like, this isn't going to be as good. And then that became shitty too.
Yeah, it should.
So then, exactly, it should.
should.
So then Saturday, I had a good set again, and
Did you drink before the set?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had to, because and that was the only thing I thought about. It's like, will doing comedy even be as fun? So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so I
It gets
seriously,
that way a lot.
yeah, I had to get right off work, go directly to a place where I was on like the top of the show. So it was like literally like waiting tables, closing out, restocking liquor, lift, get ready to do comedy. So I drank like 2 before, 2 or so. I think 2, and I think I had 1 when I walked on stage.
2 what?
Vodka sodas.
Sure.
And
Trying to lose weight, you know?
yeah.
Slim and trim.
Yeah.
I know.
I did.
I know that trick.
Right. That's and I did, and then like I got buzzed, and the set went well, and the show was going cool,
Yeah.
and everything was
That
good.
2-drink buzz for a set is fucking real
It's the
nice.
best. It's fucking
nice,
awesome.
man. It just is.
Yeah, and it became a thing where I was drinking like on top of the emotion of maybe you should never be drinking. So I was really just like, nope, not thinking about that. Just like boom, doom, 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 like throwing them back, and just got fucking shithoused. And then we went to another bar, got one beer, couldn't even.
Wait, how'd the set go?
It went really well.
All right.
But I only had 2 before the set went well, and even maybe that was I've had to even examine that. Like, if you have a good set, you feel like you can fucking do anything you want. Like is that something you have to deal with? If people are like, "Hey, good job, that was great, good job, that was great," or you're like, "Fuck you guys, I can do whatever the hell I want." I'll drink a goddamn bottle of liquor and go tell everyone to fuck themselves, sort of thing.
You did an hour at the second year when we did the Broken Record show the second year, and I went outside after you were done. I was smoking. You were with your girlfriend at the time. You came up and go, could you tell I was drunk? And then your girlfriend chimed in immediately. She's like, no, you were fine. I was like, you were a little bit. It was a great set. Like, there was no doubt. But me knowing you, it was still a phenomenal set. Like, you fucking ripped that room apart. But you were like, could you tell I was a little bit drunk? And I was like, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and then that was also drunk and no sleep, too, at the record show.
Yeah.
It was like double fucked up.
Yeah, that was on him, but you did a good hour. I can't deny that.
Thanks. I mean,
I was just trying to be honest. Trying to be honest.
No, it's fine.
We're just saying, come back to alcohol, man.
Well, it's fun. It's fun to do comedy drunk. It's fun to do everything drunk.
Yeah, you feel loose.
I'll go ahead and say it's not fun for me to ever do comedy drunk.
Really?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Dude, I mean, I've had some fun sets. A little like that set was a little bit too far, But sometimes for me, like, it just, and I think it's with more than comedy, with life. If you have to focus on, if you have something to fight in your head to stay straight, then that's the only bad thing you focus on. You know what I mean? Like if I'm on stage and let's say sometimes like we'll say at the East Room. If we maybe when we used to start drinking before the East Room too, and we used to start like when I got off work, and
long nights.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
forever.
Oh my God.
And so maybe it was like 4 or 5 beers, IPAs, before I went on.
Yeah.
But if your biggest fear is I don't want to slur the next word, then like the other side of your brain is just fucking full bore.
Yeah.
And like creative and relaxed, because you're not worried about anything else.
You're not worried about the people there. You're not worried about
You have one fear. One fear, which is something you can control. Yeah. So the other side of your brain's like, fuck it, let's have fun. Let's have a good time. Yeah. I just need to enunciate.
But other than that, I get that too. Where it's like, other than that,
It's
you
awesome.
get more creative and shit
Yeah.
like that. It really happens.
It's like it's almost like I wonder if it's
There's
not.
gotta be a balance to it, though. That's
I know.
always a thing.
There's
but
not.
It's like there's gotta
There
be.
can't be.
I know there is. I know there is to it. It's fucking. You just got to be disciplined and have strong fucking willpower and shit.
Everyone
like that.
quits. So at a certain point, that's what I've had to realize too. Is like because I told you like I got into some of the comics
All
and
or
I've
nothing.
is that well yeah and I've been kind of like seeking out people I think subconsciously who are like fuck ups who did comedy and like reading about them and watching interviews and stuff. And part of me focuses on the fact of like, oh, they were this fucked up and did this great thing. But maybe it's more important now to be like, they all quit. They all fucking quit. Like when they got older, or not even older. Like at a certain point, they're like, I can't do this anymore.
Sustain this
yeah,
anymore.
like it's impossible.
Yeah.
For me to keep doing this.
Full
Well, it's just
throttle
like
or
everything else.
You're not on the gas at all.
Right.
Like you're fucking.
It's just like
cars in
everything
the garage
else.
sort of thing.
2 beers used to be enough,
It
and
feels
then
nice.
4 beers were the next 2 beers.
Yeah.
And then it's
Definitely.
6, and then it's 8, then it's a shot, and then it's like
yeah.
fucking 5
And then
mixed
you're-
drinks,
And then
all
you're
that
fucking
stuff.
puking in your bed or whatever, you know.
Exactly, and then you're just up there, just like slurring on stage, and all that stuff.
Which is the point, because I've had sets where that's when the one thing that first started hitting me is when like, oh, you got too drunk tonight.
Yeah.
And it never really happened on shows. Maybe once or twice I've been like, shit, it would have been a little better. But definitely at mics I've been like, oh, you push it too far.
Yeah.
This time.
You just fucked up.
Yeah. But
Fucked up.
and then even like just like the no wherewithal, like that's his deal. It's like Saturday, it's just like I just was fucking pounding shit. Yeah. And it wasn't even like I said, it's not even.
Yeah, we gotta get back to that.
Okay, we'll get back, and I'll tell you why. Because once again, it's not even like what happened. Like so it's like we were waiting to get some pizza, and
Where at?
I don't want to say anything. I just don't want to say anything. Where
Very-
it is.
Here in East Nashville.
Yes.
Yeah,
sure.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The
Okay.
place to be.
So
East
it's like
Okay, yeah,
sort of thing.
exactly.
So we were doing that, and I was in a good mood. I saw the guy who comes to the mic, George Lincoln. And
George
I saw
Lincoln,
him on the street with some people, and I remember like this is a conversation I had with him. He had a George. I was like, "Oh fuck you, Jay. No, I love you, man. Oh no, fuck you, Jay. No, I love you, man." like I had that like exchange with him.
Yeah, your normal drunk conversation.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was not in any way being a dick. Like I was not, because I have gotten drunk and turned a little fucking like aggressive. That didn't happen. And I look over. The pizzas were about to grab it, and there's this dude who is like dead-eyed drunk, fucking shaking this street sign back and forth, like trying to pull it out the ground, like.
I know what you're talking about. It's a bus stop. Yeah.
And he's just like, and it's moving. I just look at him. I go, "Hey, fucking quit!" Like, because I was just drunk. And he like goes like, "Fuck you!" And I was like, "No, fucking quit! You're breaking shit." And he comes over and just pops me in the nose. And
by the way, big up on not having a broken nose.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's the thing. He was so drunk. There's a thing when I tell this story, even on stage, I'm less about it on stage. That's comedy, but when I tell it in real life, because there's a certain amount of pride you want to have with the fight story. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to escape. I was being an asshole. I'm not trying to seem tough because I wasn't necessarily super tough when it happened. So it's like a weird thing to get out in your hair where you want to be honest. You want to make sure you're not bullshitting. Like so he punches me, and I'm like. I was also so drunk, he hit me the fucking sledgehammer. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, but he was really drunk too.
There's a tough guy thing.
He exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I was actually trying not to sound tough because I was saying like it didn't hurt because I didn't want to feel shit.
You're so fucked up, it would have been anything.
Yeah, and then
I've been there too.
He punched me. He was so drunk. I didn't remember this. Carter said he was like, "Yeah," and like did like threw his fist up and fell flat on his back.
He also punched Carter before he punched Wagner. Like he.
No, he didn't punch me. No, that was after. So
Carter says it was. Carter said it was before.
No.
Oh boy.
See, this is a drunk story because Carter was like he was gonna punch Wagner in the back.
No,
of the head, and I was
this
like,
is after.
"Hey, no!"
I heard the story. No,
Everybody's a hero.
Okay.
No, I know what you're talking about. So then, so he goes. So he's looking at me and he's fucking pissed. He's like, "I'm gonna keep punching you," and I was like. In my head, I was like, "That's cool."
So the punch he gave you, did it knock you back or anything?
I don't exactly remember. I don't think so because I remember bending down and my nose is bleeding.
Yeah,
And
I've got hit pretty hard.
Yeah, and I was like,
Sorry. Yeah,
I know it's impossible. It's impossible not to talk about.
There's a sobriety test. Yeah. But
so it's a thing where it's like, okay, he's gonna keep fighting me, and I was in my head, I was like, fuck it, that's what's gonna happen right now. That's cool. But then I knew we'd get in trouble, and I think someone had already sent by cops at that point. So I was like, so I was like, hey man, we can fight. That's cool, but walk up this alleyway with me.
Right there to the left.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I've heard two different versions
No,
of the story now.
it's the same. It's the same Carter. It's the same story. It's Carter didn't add this part in. This is
Carter added this part, but it was a completely different part of the story.
Yeah.
Say his last name.
I don't think about Carter Glasscock. It doesn't matter.
This is how.
I was just wondering.
I'm telling you.
Occasionally I might.
This is how it went down because
Okay.
it even goes to what Carter looking for his shit at the end.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's like, get my ass, whatever the fuck happens.
Well, I'm just saying I've been clocked a couple of times and it's sobered me up.
Yeah, and I was definitely.
I've just been like the anger came over.
Yeah,
me.
I was sobered up, and I was kind of and honestly, I'm not even gonna fucking run away from this. I've kind of been wanting to get in a fight for a while because I've never straight up just fought someone on the street. I've done other stuff, but I've never done that. And there's been a thing in the back of my head for a minute, which is like, what would I do? And so and it's just, it was there, and it and it was all happening. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna go up here where we won't get in trouble. In my head, because in my head there's like some like place where there. Yeah.
Was this going up towards a bar?
Yes. Yeah.
In an alleyway.
Exactly.
An
So,
alleyway
but it was better.
It may have been close to the edge.
But it was better than being right on that sidewalk where I know there's a camera at the window.
Yeah, where it's
and a lot of time cops are parked right across the fucking street anyway. It's a miracle they weren't, because it was that time for them to just be over there anyway. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be better because in my head now there's no way out of this. Like, I shouldn't have said, because he is unresponsive drunk. I mean, dead-eyed, he's not saying words. It's like he like the best he got to words is like, "Fuck you!" Like he's seriously like growling and shit. And
Wow.
yeah, no, he is. I mean, once
We
again,
found out he wasn't drunk and he was just retarded.
once again, to go back to the beginning of the story, the reason all this happened was because I found this guy shaking, trying to pull a bus stop sign out of the ground. Like that's the origin of this. So we go to get up there, and this is where Carter says, because I'm just like, just walk up here. And at that point, I am seriously like, okay, past this restaurant.
So your nose is already bloody at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's already bloody. And
Andrew WK walking.
Yeah,
right now.
We want fun. Da, 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 da.
and it's like, and in my head, I'm like, we can get past the restaurant, past to that church parking lot. That's the best place to do this. Like,
Right, the church parking lot.
yeah, but I'm, like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And well, 'cause in my head I was like, because it's a little bit off. Like it can be like that's gonna be the best places to go down where I do not get arrested. Because that was my fear. As soon as I got hit, that was my one thought. Was do not get fucking arrested out here. Like that's gonna fuck your life up in such
Not getting your ass kicked, possibly.
Yeah, it's like I much rather have my ass kicked than get arrested tonight. Okay. You know, like 10 times out of 10 would rather deal with that. So then while we were walking up, and I was like, come on. I was like, come on. We're going up here. We're going up here. That's when Carter said he like leaned back to punch me in the back of my head because I was in front of him. I was like, come on, dude. And
so you turned your back on it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't give a shit. Like I was walking fast. I was like, come on. Like I was trying to be like just fast enough to where like he would be like, I can catch him, but not fast enough where he could hit me, I guess. And that's when Carter said he was going to punch me in the back of the head. And that's when Carter was like, hey, dude, quit. And he hit Carter and like knocked the lens out of his new glass he just got, and then like fight, and then so at that point I'm like, fuck, well he hit Carter, this is my fault, like I have to get into it now a little bit. So like I kind of walk back towards it. Then the guy's friend who's more sober grabs his friend, and the drunk guy breaks out of his hold a couple times. And I was just like, dude, get your fucking friend out of here. He's like, I'm trying to get my friend out of here, and he does that. So then finally they get out of the situation, but then we have to find Carter's lens for his glass. He just got these fucking glasses. And then, so we're like just looking for the glasses, and the guy from 5 Points comes. I was like, "Hey, we're gonna call the cops." I'm like, "Dude, we're just looking for glasses. Like, we're not doing anything. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? I get it, but we're just trying to find a lens of glasses, and we found it and left. And I don't. That was
this
it. Like,
is the tale of Sober
and
October.
That's how Sober October.
This is the origin.
That's how
of it
Sober
all.
October begins.
Yeah, people
right
play
there.
it like the pussies. Like, oh, I have a couple beers here and there. Wagner's out there fucking struggling.
Getting punched in the nose.
Yeah,
He's really,
but
No,
he's
but
really
seriously, dude, you
Yeah.
can get sucker punched. Anybody can get.
exactly. And
I'm not even going to take anything away from you. You can get sucker punched at any time.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the thing. So it's like I do feel bad because number one, if I hadn't drank as much as I drank, what would have been the difference was I just wouldn't have said, "Hey, fuck you." Like, you know, I wouldn't have said, "Hey, quit doing what you're doing, drunk guy." Like that, right? Or you know what I mean? Like it would have been fine. But I mean, like the reason I don't like it wasn't. Once again, like I feel bad about what happened. I fucked up. I need to take a break from alcohol. That is all that's all stuff is just true at this point. But I am not trying to beat myself up like I was over hanging out with you and threw a beer back and started getting in your face. Like, you know, I didn't do anything insanely out of character.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like, but like the first day, especially, I was like taking on guilt like I did. Like I was taking on guilt like I fucking hit my wife or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, on top of that too, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
no, it's not.
Whenever you do something uncharacteristic that
Right.
you wouldn't normally do.
Because that's where my brain goes. Is like,
Yeah.
dude, keep fucking drinking when you are 40. Keep throwing it back. And what if you do? You know,
Yeah.
like what if you did that? I know we've talked about this where I'm just like, how many dudes are in fucking jail for like driving their car drunk and killing somebody? It's like, man, I wish I would have quit when I just pissed my pants at that party.
Yeah.
You know, like whenever I knew.
But if you, also, if those guys pissed their pants at a party and they need to get out of there real quick and they drove a car, they shouldn't have been arrested.
I get okay, understood.
Yeah, it's a bit. I'm doing a bit. I'm
Wagner's
sorry.
being vulnerable, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like, but
What happens when you don't drink?
it's like
No, it's good. It really is good.
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah, it's excellent.
the
You make it that week and a half, you get such a clarity, like everything, your brain, and it starts functioning like a different way.
That's-
Like, what the fuck is going on with my head right now?
Dude, 2 weeks in,
It's
the
on
only
all
thing that's
cylinders.
I haven't
It's
in 2
the
weeks.
only
dude,
thing that's
forever.
ever made me go back to drinking after 2 weeks has been me working in a bar, and that's
And
it.
I've seriously, once again, I'm trying not to be dramatic, but I've seriously thought about like looking for other jobs. And just being like, I don't want to fucking be around this shit anymore.
Don't hit Google on what to do after bartending because it's going to be the saddest thing you'll ever
Well,
see.
I have a lot of like kitchen shit too. There's the only difference. Like it's not.
Sorry.
But that's still like there's still like
I mean,
I don't
you're
know,
gonna
there's
be
a connection to it. Even if it's not like a kitchen
For
in
sure.
a bar.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's still just like a connection with kitchen people and people working kitchens and shit like that. Where it's just like
yeah. There's gonna be drugs. There's gonna be booze.
it's a
That's
rough
just the
fucking thing to get involved
Yeah,
in.
that's
man.
what I was
It
getting ready to
just
say. I
is.
mean, it's like the kitchen's worse than the fucking front of the house.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time, it's rough. But at the same time, if you can find like a food truck where you work by yourself, I find being by yourself and being alone is like the best way to fucking just give shit up. Because it's like you don't have anybody to drink with, you don't have anybody to do drugs with. So it's like let's just be alone and see what happens. Like that's like because that was in Seattle when I was doing the thing and when I wasn't drinking, I would get one drink on happy hour on Fridays because the mic would start at 9:15, happy hour wouldn't start till 10. So I'd hang out. I'd probably end up doing my set, and then I'd get one drink at 10, and fucking it'd be like $3.50. I get a whiskey on the rocks, and I'd just hang out. But then there was a lot of dope going around too. You could just smoke weed all night too, so that kind of helps too. But I don't know. Just being alone, I feel like helps fucking
Yeah, I mean,
just
it
get
definitely.
away from it. Just and you were talking about like taking a break just through the December, not doing mics and shit. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, part of you is like, oh, I gotta do comedy all the time. Like I don't want to get loose or I don't want to get fucking rusty or whatever it is. But it's like being alone is good.
Yeah, I
And
think.
just taking some time to
Yeah,
yourself.
solidarity
you
is
know.
is a gift sometimes.
But it can also be too much. Like it's a fucking fine line to walk. Because it's like, oh, I'm alone all the time. This is great. I don't have to drink. And it's like I'm alone all the time. Might as well drink.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a. I definitely, if I'm trying to not drink, for the first like last night, I didn't want to drink,
sure.
so I didn't go to Mike's.
Not going to Mike's. It's easy.
But-
Ditto.
Yeah.
All three of us were sober last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, for sure. I slept for about. I got
s-
such a good
Oh,
night of
dude.
sleep, man.
I rented a movie on Amazon, paid for it. Amazon, I rented a movie, paid for it, and slept through most of it. And you know what? It's one of the best movies I've saw in a while.
Do you only get to watch it once on Amazon?
What
No,
was
I
it?
Probably
You get it
Train
for like
Spotting
24
2.
hours.
The second Train Spotting 2 or T2.
Terminator 2.
Yeah, that's the one. There was a liquid metal. There was a liquid metal spud, and all that. People that know what that movie is, they'll find that funny.
I
Or
know
not.
what that movie is.
It's a really good movie. Second movie's really good too.
I need to watch this. I've never seen. I need to watch a lot of movies all the way through.
No, you don't have to. If you're not a movie person, you don't have to.
No,
watch movies.
I am when I watch them. I don't seek them out. I don't. I don't know. I feel like it was too heavy earlier to go back and be like, so
I know, we
fucking
should just-
hemorrhoids.
No, I'm just saying you got punched, dude.
Yeah, no.
That dude busted your nose, and your nose is not broken. That's once again something to celebrate.
You're just
And also,
trying to go,
it-
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, that's it. It's starting to
Yeah.
this is getting nuts.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't got to keep
Well,
going.
you're
Like,
one
I
of-
could talk about it because it is affecting me that much. I could talk about it like for a fucking 10 hours, repeat the same shit. Just be like, right, guys, right,
Here, let me
guys,
check
right.
the battery.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me check the battery in here.
At the same time,
you don't have 10 hours, but
But I know, I get it too. I know what it's like. We did it together.
Yeah. Something happened that would not have happened otherwise,
Yeah.
and that's something to assess. Do I think it is like a terrible thing necessarily? No. Do I think it's
No.
definitely something where you stop and you go, let's examine what we are doing right now?
But
Yes.
If we would have just been drunk on the porch and had a Kroger pizza, it never
Totally-
would have happened
totally
at the same
fine.
time. That's part of it too.
Totally fine.
That's
But
part
then
of it
again,
too.
man.
Then that's where it becomes weird, where it's like, nobody's getting in any trouble. This is okay.
Yeah,
We're
that's
just sitting here. And we're still having pizza. No one's getting in fights, and we're just having a good time. But we're doing the same thing that you did, but it's just being out.
Mhm.
Being out is no good.
I was
That's
getting
where all
ready
the
to
trouble
ask.
fucking
I was getting ready to
happens.
ask what you think is worse: is being just like a person that goes home and does drugs or drinks heavily
I think
by themselves, or the person that goes out and does those same
I
things.
think they both end up being very depressing, but the fact that you're out, there's more distractions from the fact that you're just
Yeah, but from
sitting at home.
from an outside perspective, working in a bar, the saddest shit I see is people who have to come to the bar. Like I would feel less bad for somebody who will use movies, for example. It's like I love watching movies. So I go home by myself and I get shit housed and I watch movies, and that's my passion. Because at least that's something that's like contained. But when you see a dude who, like, if anything good or bad happens in his life, the first thing he's got to do is hit that fucking bar and just like tell the bartender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, cause he knows no one's gonna be there at noon, but he's got to come in and tell the bartender what's going on.
But is
because
to
no
try
one
and
else
find somebody to tell, or to just accept having nobody to tell and nobody cares? 'Cause I
Number
think that-
two.
that
I think it's
beca-
number
I think
two.
that becomes a line too, where it's like that same person will sit at home and just fucking talk to their dog.
Yeah,
at the
but
same time, and
but
be like, I'll just get drunk and go.
even
I had a
that,
good day.
there's
I had a bad day.
there's a weird thing with me just because because money's being exchanged,
Yeah, that too.
Which
That's
is-
always a weird thing too.
which is what makes it. And it's like, even if you do to the point where like, I like this guy, there's still no getting around the fact that this is based in you paying me. I have
listen to your
yeah,
shit.
right. I have to be here.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe I like you being here more than the next person's going to come in. But if I had my ruthers, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be talking to you
Yeah.
in the first place.
Yeah, that's a weird place to be. You're their dog in a sense. They're just willing to pay to have somebody rather than having an animal sitting at home and talking to that. They're like, I got some money. I can spend a few bucks and go. Josh is a good guy. He's nice. He smiles. He's funny. I'll go talk to him.
Yeah, it's
So what's worse?
I
Is
mean,
there
I don't
any worse?
know. I don't know if there's a-
Maybe it's not a worse thing. Maybe everyone's just having a good time. Maybe that's the
Yeah,
worst. But sometimes it seems real sad.
I'll say it's a 60-40.
As
Of
far
what?
as like sad good time.
Yeah, I think it's a 60% good time and 40% sad. And
I think
because
it is.
we,
I'd go the other way.
oh okay,
I would.
yeah, I mean, it all depends on what kind of mindset you're in, and also just like what you're looking at. Like, so are we asking? Do I think it's a sad time, or are they ever going to realize it's a sad time? Like that's because that's a different question too.
Well, that's the thing.
Because I
even,
see
like-
people having fun all the time, and I'm just like, that's the saddest shit I've seen in my whole life.
Well, that's the thing. Even like coming to comedy shows, it's like as far as like drinking with comedy, people come and they go, "Oh, they're having such a good time. They're being funny." But it's like at the same time, it's like I gotta be drunk to do this.
I
like
wish
this
I
one-
would write something new.
Yeah,
That's the reason why sometimes I don't come to open
been here
mics.
for
is
3 hours.
just because I know that's for
Yeah.
me to work on something new.
yeah.
The reason why tonight, why I didn't feel like going out, is because I don't have anything new to say. I could work on the old stuff, but the old stuff I have cinched up.
Yeah.
There's no
So why even-
unless you can find, and that's a point where I've been getting on my separate organization because I know there is stuff that I've done once and like it's not been put into the rotation to get cinched
Absolutely.
up, and that's why I'm at a mic sometimes
Yeah.
and I'm pissed off in my phone, be like, God damn it, why don't you just make another folder? Like, why don't?
See that grinder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fucking sift
Well,
it
that's
through.
the reason why I
guess,
have a
sort of
notebook
thing.
over there on my coffee table is because I was rearranging stuff. I was like, eventually
see
I have
right,
to
and
fucking...
that's what I got to get.
That's the
better
reason why you've done an hour that was cohesive. Joe's getting ready to do an hour that's cohesive.
Oh, it's gonna be vile.
And I'm the fucking asshole that's over here
It's
just
gonna
being like,
be
I'm just
vile.
gonna hang out. I'm fucking going to do crowd work for 15, 20 minutes.
Well,
See what's gonna happen.
you got a weird thing because it's like I don't know, man. Because you're great, Lewis.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm not doing that for you.
No, I'm just mean you're a fucking solid comic, but for some reason it's just like I don't know.
Nobody likes me.
Nobody,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if
like-
they don't like you, but it's like I don't know, man.
It is.
Like,
It
people
is-
don't
it's-
fucking. They don't
it's-
give you the respect you deserve, and I feel it does fuck with your head. I know it does.
It
It
definitely-
would with anybody, but you're fucking phenomenal. And for some reason, I don't know what it is. People are fucking silly, but they're not. And you know, that's the thing where I'm at right now. Is like I'm in a weird place where it's like you got to be involved in like a city with comedy, but it's like I don't want to be involved with the scene. I don't like scenes. I don't like groups of people. I don't like this fucking shit that goes on with people talking and everything. But it's like, I don't know what to do. Do you just work the road and be a nobody? Or do you try and involve yourself in one of these fucking scenes? But it's like, I don't want to be part of that shit.
It's the weird fork in the road.
I
isn't
fucking
it?
hate it. I hate people.
I will say from like, and this
I
is
like people. I like people. They
I like human beings, but I don't like people. I don't
Can I-
like what makes them people. They're fucking awful.
Can I
but
say-
as far as little fucking whatever they're doing, I like.
Can I say I like people, but they hate me? I mean, that's a joke.
You're fucking
But
great.
still,
Put something out. Just do something. You
I'm
should.
gonna
And that's
have
where I
to.
get on
I mean-
Wagner and fucking Monty. Apparently, Monty recorded another album. He's recorded 2 albums. None of them come out.
what happened to the first one?
Jared recorded it, and he didn't do anything with it. And Chad recorded the second one. He didn't do anything with it. But it's like y'all are great, and even you, Wagner. Those fucking you were.
Well, Wagner had
you
a
were
really.
selling bootlegs of your own album.
and then it sounded like shit.
It's so funny.
I even
I'm
ended up
so
selling
sorry
them.
about that, dude.
That's not no one's fault, man.
Here, the most positive thing to come out of that is that you can still do every fucking bit of that material.
I can do most
For
of
so
it.
long.
A little bit of it is dated, but there's more now, so it'd be fun.
But it should be done.
It doesn't even matter if it's worn out. You can still do it. You can
No,
still
it's just
go
a
back
little,
to
just a
that
little
fucking
dated.
well.
Like not like terrible to.
You both should do it. Both
Yeah,
of
no,
you.
I wanna-
Both
I'm
of
a-
you
Do
are good
Wagner's
enough.
material?
No.
Sure.
I'm gonna do
Well,
it.
yeah, of course. Who wouldn't?
I'm gonna do it. But I will say for me, as far as like the scene talk from like limited experience and like a bigger scene of what's considered that. When I was newer, their mentality bothered me, and I was always like, "Man, people in Nashville like this, it's way better." But now, honestly, like the idea of people who are just like, "Fuck it, I'm grinding and trying to get something. I'm trying to get a TV show. I'm trying to get a pilot. Like, I'm trying to do that." It's
Trying to
like
get something.
it seems more fun to be around, or more like acceptable to be around.
Yeah.
Oh, goal oriented.
Yeah, but goal oriented, and also, but not even like goal oriented, but also it justifies more because there's going to be like human bullshit, like you said, and I think a frustrating thing is, and could be like anything, could be like a job you work at, it doesn't matter that much, could be anything, but we'll just use a comedy scene, is the human bullshit and looking around like, what does it matter? You look at the battery?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You look like you're farting. You look like you're farting every time. Every time you look like you're making
Just let everybody else, whenever I raise up out of my seat, it's not the fart.
you look like you're making the biggest
If
scene.
I lift my left leg and sweep to my right, then I'm totally farting. I am fucking blowing out.
And it would be the funniest part because you arch your back and shit.
Oh, yeah, when I do my yoga poses. I get some fucking everyday yoga going on in here. This is called dying cow.
So
Spewing
you
go.
just turn the fucking thing around.
No.
Instead, you keep
I
presenting
refuse.
your asshole.
I refuse. I'm not turning the recorder around.
No, it wouldn't make.
Once again-
it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It would interrupt less of the conversation.
We've had so many
Instead
good
of you
radio
lifting
moments.
Up off your chair,
So
and
many-
sticking your ass in the fucking air. You go, I'm just checking the battery, fellas.
Lewis has been checking that battery a lot lately.
Yeah, in case anyone wants to stop the podcast and
About every 15 minutes.
just checking the batteries.
About every 15 minutes, Lewis grabs his stomach and checks the battery.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Wagner does because he's sober.
Yeah, it's not. I don't want to go because I was already.
I was in a serious conversation right there.
No, I was already in the middle, being like, "This might be stupid." So the fact that
No,
Lewis
no,
wanted
no.
wanted to present his ass to
Wanted
us
to
another
pretend
time
for it.
makes it better.
Start in the middle of the soberness, right there. Or soberness? Sorry.
Sober up,
Yeah, I'm
Lewis.
drunk.
What do you got?
Well, I'm drunk.
Talk about something. Go.
I wasn't farting. I mean, I have farted throughout this podcast.
I don't think I'm going to go back to Seattle, boys.
I wouldn't.
I don't think I'm going to.
If you don't like it, there's no. If you don't see the.
I got something set up on December 15th, but it's a gig to fucking do like a 2-month contest to win and try and MC. And I just don't feel like
That's a
doing
long contest
I get
for.
Yeah, 2 months.
it. I get
MC
a
stuff.
2-minute set December 5th to see if I'm good enough to MC at a club. And I just don't feel like dealing with that shit. I'm really over it.
Yeah.
That was the thing in Springwater.
Right.
Where I was like, I'm just over trying to make people happy. I'm over contests. Like, I'm just going to fucking...
The-
I'm going to talk my dick for about 8 minutes.
so much stuff
For
is
real.
it.
I'm just going to talk about my dick for 8 minutes and see if these fucks can deal with it. And they couldn't.
So much stuff is a contest now, and it is getting a little bit like, God damn it, why?
It's obnoxious.
Like, and it isn't like. Part of me gets it. Part of me, like, I'm not necessarily against the. I'm not against the idea
But it's not. It's
necessarily.
about, contests are about pleasing people, especially if they're audience fucking. If the vote is audience based, it's about pleasing those fucks. And the
Which-
people
which
who
is-
please
which
those,
is fine.
It's fine, but they're fucking dull. At the end of
Yeah,
the day,
I mean,
they're
well,
fucking dull.
what's the thing is like it does it. Which is the thing I think can be good is it represents more of like a universal kind of comedy you have to do, which is good, which is what
Yeah,
you should be able to
which
do.
is fine.
Which is the thing,
fine
but
enough.
it doesn't have to be what you do.
No.
Like that's the.
And that's I don't think that's what I'm going for. I just don't.
Yeah, it's fine. So just don't. It's things like don't.
That's Patrice O'Neal. He was like, it's like comedy is 50% of the audience loving it and 50% of the audience not knowing what the fuck's going on or something like that. Like they don't get it. And it's like that's what comedy is. And it's like, oh, well, that's a fun idea. It's like you alienate 50%, but the other 50% are fucking howling.
That's especially like,
and they don't know why. And then the people who aren't laughing, they don't know why the other people are howling. It makes it even more funny. I don't know. I just don't want to do a contest to fucking MC at a club.
Yeah, just and the dancers just don't.
That's the thing.
It's like, just don't do it.
I don't want to go back at all.
Well, both of you guys have won contests.
Many.
I've not won. I've not won any
belts.
contest, but I always finish in like the top 3. Which I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay, so it's the one contest I won. I mean, a lot of people came who knew me, and like I'm not gonna say I didn't deserve to win it anyway, but I am gonna say that's why I won it. You know, and that's a little bit of part of it a lot of times with local stuff is. But then also it's like that's kind of part of being like that does prove who gets people out to shows at least. So maybe that's the person who should get the spot on the show.
But do they bring people? They bring people once most of the time.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be somewhat positive about it.
I understand.
Well, no. I'm not being negative.
I'm over.
Like I'm not.
I haven't done one in a long time, and I don't want to.
It's fun if you're new. Like, they're fun if you're new because it's a good validation.
Unless you're me and you always lose.
Well, it also isn't something like, it's not something that's
just... You're good, Lewis.
No, I'm... Dude.
I don't know what to say.
Dude,
other than the fact that you're good.
I'll just be honest with you. I'm fine with me. It's everybody else that has a problem.
Maybe you shouldn't be fine with you then. Maybe that was the problem.
Oh, now I got to refigure this whole liking myself.
You want some acid, bro?
Not really.
Okay, well, you're never going to get anywhere.
Oh, here we go. Didn't we start this out by saying that you took some fucking mushrooms and you weren't happy?
Well, that's because I was already feeling bad.
I have that. I have that acid I've been wanting to do.
Oh, Lewis.
I don't know if it goes. It doesn't. I know everyone's like I put it in the freezer. Mine this has been in my drawer.
It'll be fine.
It's fine, right? It's not gonna. It's not extremely hot or
Not
cold
really.
in there, so
Yeah.
it'd be fine.
And if it sweats, you can just lick the bag.
I mean, I have it in foil.
Oh, it'll be fine then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I'm not going to guarantee I'll do it, but...
I mean,
well, no.
it was the like.
I'm not going to guarantee.
Well, no, I'm just saying I've been thinking about doing it for a minute.
When I did it, like I cannot
We could all do it
describe.
together. You have a couple of hits, Evan. Norman has a couple of hits. We could all do
Well,
acid
you guys
together.
want to
That's
do like
4
you
hits.
guys want to go fucking
No.
wild.
No, if we
Not
just
with
do
acid,
4
no.
hits, no. I don't want to.
I don't even want to do a full hit.
No.
Yeah, no,
The
you-
last time is
You want to do a full hit? You
going
wanna
on
do
that
one?
porch. It
I
felt,
do want to do a
that
full
porch felt
I
bad.
don't know, man. Honestly,
Well,
okay.
that was a different. That was another life thing though.
Yeah, it was.
That was because up until that it was like that's what I was gonna say is like I can't even describe how much it never even got difficult
Yeah, no.
for a second. Like I'd be honest with you if it did. Like
the acid.
yeah, I mean I'd be totally honest because like I'd say right now if I ate half that cookie I'd be having a way harder time than we ever had on the porch.
Oh, by the way, we also had some cookies over here.
That porch was a rough time.
Well, but that was one.
It
When
just
it-
was rough going back, you know?
Well, it was, but and also because I've thought about it, and there was a thing. Joe's eating all the cookies now.
Power of Christ compels you, motherfuckers.
They're
The one movie Joe watched.
I'll be gone next week, motherfuckers. We're taking it in.
there was a thing with like what we talked about, which is about you come back to an empty liquor bottle and a fucking thing full of cigarettes and half burnt cigarettes and like
Half-burnt cigarettes
and
a
the
bag
fucking
of weed and
yeah.
papers and fucking
beer cans everywhere.
this
and
much
stuff.
whiskey bottle. Yeah, that was a
That sucked, but also. Let's look back on just the very realistic things of we've been up all night and we were soaking wet. Like that's gonna have you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's gonna hurt your mood too.
Yeah.
Coming off of drugs is not like no matter what it is. Mushrooms wasn't bad at all. Like there was no bad come down from that for me. But the
Acid's always been worse for me.
the acid like
The come down.
there was definitely
Every
like,
time.
there was a real depression
Yeah.
that night before we, and the next day.
Yeah.
There was like a real just kind of like sadness.
Yeah.
And maybe
Like this is what it is. Like this is what we've been doing.
yeah, that was
It was
bad.
just so real. It was just like that table, and we just like it was like I feel like there was a moment where we were both just looking at like it was a fucking Rubik's Cube or something like it, like something that was good but just had been exploded or something like that, where it was just like, what the fuck is this anymore?
I looked at it more as like we'd been lying to ourselves about it the whole time.
That could have been too.
You know, because it was a thing. I guess for the Trash Cast to talk about it, like when we've talked about this, like because and I think especially when we did that podcast, we didn't take seriously at all. Where they're like, so what's the Trash Boys? And we kind of blew it off and whatever
You mean
anyway.
like this one that we're taking.
Yeah,
really
we're taking
seriously.
this one really seriously. But it's and we're kind of like, we do some sketches, I guess. But then I think we realized that night it's like we like to hang out. And
Yeah, we're friends that hang out. This is what we do.
And I think it made us feel like we were doing work when we were just hanging out. Like I think there was a little bit. That was part of looking at that table to me, was just being like, we could have done so much more work.
Well, yeah, that too.
Like,
It was
we could have done
all this
infinitely-
energy that was
infinitely
here,
more
all this
work.
wasted energy could have been something else. But
Joe came to me
But it was still
directly
fun.
afterwards, and I remember you gave me like a hug, like an unnecessary hug. I remember this like a day or so after you like gave me a big hug and went, I realize now why you didn't want to hang out with us.
Oh,
till, like,
yeah, yeah.
5 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
is because it's so depressing.
it's bad news.
And I was just like, I just didn't want to do it because
See,
I
and-
was sleepy.
That's what I will say.
And,
like,
and also
Well,
because
that's
I was
like,
already
well,
fucked
we
up
should
by
have
that
been
point.
sleepy though. At the same time, it's
It's
like we
like
should have been sleepy.
Yeah, you're just like, I get why you don't want to do it after I
Yeah.
fucking done some
Not-
acid and thought about it.
Yeah. It's
And
like
I was just like,
yeah.
yeah.
Why would anybody want to do this? But it was like we just made it work.
well, see, and
For like an entire summer.
it was a good time.
and that's what I want to say is like not to discredit your emotions, not to say we didn't waste time, but I think coming down off that shit, you get depressed.
Yeah, definitely.
And I
You
think
always
it,
do.
I think
Oh, yeah,
it, I
dude.
think it
it's
made
like
it.
a roller coaster.
Any chemical shit you do.
I think that made it hit harder because I've been doing pretty much the same shit. I don't feel as bad about it. You
Yeah,
know, you know what I
exactly.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I don't feel as bad, and
What,
I've actually.
you're saying like cocaine?
No, I'm talking acid. The acid.
Oh, sure.
But it's just for me, like psychedelics, like acid is like the father figure. Mushrooms is always like the mother figure. Mushrooms are always so they're much more understanding, whereas acid's like a harsher, like why are you doing this sort of thing, like when you know
See,
better sort of thing.
But
like,
there
it's
was
harsh.
none of that until the come down.
Yeah, until
like,
we got back to that point.
We were seriously just laughing our fucking ass off.
I was crying for
Yeah.
hours. I cried for like an hour just fucking laughing. I couldn't breathe. I had like a sinus thing
was-
going on, but I was just crying. I cried all night.
Dude,
it was hilarious.
it was none of that. It was laughing at just us sitting there,
Yeah, just joy.
and then going and fucking watching stars dance like a light
Fucking
show
dance,
on,
yeah.
on the golf course, and
They'll
then
do
getting lost on the golf course.
Going, where are we?
When we were like less than a quarter mile from my house. Like there's no reason we shouldn't have saw the porch light, but it looked like the moon. It looked like we were in the
it
middle
was
of
so
like
misty
the
and
desert.
dark, and it was like,
And
where are
we realized
now?
after that it was like all that dew was making us soaking wet.
So
like
wet.
it was it was that.
We kept wandering. Going, what's over here? And we didn't realize we were getting wet.
No, yeah, we had no. We're just walking through all this grass, and I think maybe the sprinklers may have been on.
I think they were on.
Like, it was-
the only thing that made sense.
See, but anyway, all that to say that the acid, until we came off, and it's just I think where we were and being wet clothes and tired. That's where we started thinking about stuff. I've been doing it was just a party thing.
Yeah.
The
'Cause that
mo-
was the idea. Too.
I mean, that's what it was. It
That
was
was the
never
whole
even
idea.
for a second like we were like thinking about shit. It was like
Yeah.
this is all hilarious. This is all great.
yeah.
The mushrooms, granted, it was like more of a dose. That was never for even 1 second a party thing.
No.
I mean, not even for one fucking
No.
second.
When
Like
you go that deep,
Yeah,
it
it
never
wasn't-
is. Like there's no.
there was no point where it's like, oh, we're giggling.
no.
Like if anything,
it's like we're opening a book and it's time to
Dude.
study.
there was nervous laughter.
Yeah.
Because as soon as like that first thing, it was just the guy going at me like, "Whoa, you see that in the sky?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and we're just like, and then just sat down.
Yeah.
like there was no.
Here we go.
There was no joy. There was
The
none of
coming
that.
attraction. I've been there. It's fun. I'd like to go there again.
I think I'm ready to maybe again. I can't call it fun, and
It'd
I
be
can't.
fun. I do have some mushrooms. My buddy,
None of
our
that
buddy
sounds
gave
fun.
Me mushrooms.
It is.
No,
It
it
is.
is good.
It is.
Well, no,
fun,
no,
but
I'm
it's
just
so
saying that-
helpful.
Man,
It's
taking acid in the dark is a good time.
No, the acid in the dark sounds fine.
Mushrooms.
But I'm
and-
talking about the mushroom mushrooms to get like
it's
like
fucking
so
melting.
helpful.
It
It's so
melts
helpful, though, man.
reality.
It's so
It melts what you think is reality away from you.
It's so nuts.
It's fucking.
I
it's
feel like
it's
I would-
beyond. It's different. If you've ever taken mushrooms and you've ever taken a heroic dose of mushrooms, it's completely different than what you think mushrooms are.
Yeah, the
Well,
Bill Hicks
it's
heroic
completely-
dose.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing
sure.
that we talked about is I feel like maybe it was a dose with acid. I've never taken a lot of acid, but maybe it was the dose because 1.5 grams of mushrooms was the fun acid thing.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a nice little, hey.
That was to say everything was pretty.
Yeah.
Things were funny. Like
It's good.
Like that was that. And we even talked about this too. Is like the weird thing with the heroic dose is it doesn't even start the same.
No.
Like,
It's
no part of it is the
it's-
same thing.
It's different software that's being loaded into
It's-
your brain.
it's-
It's completely different.
Yeah, because like
Completely
to use alcohol as an example, if you drink 2 beers or if you drink 12 beers, you're going to end up different places. But you still have to drink 2 beers, drink 12 beers.
Yeah.
And so I expected that, I think, to go like, okay, 2 beers,
man.
4 beers, 6 beers, 8 beers, 12, 12 beers. But no, there was no 2 beers. There was no ramp
No.
up.
It's like, what is this? What are we doing right now?
It was weird.
I've done mushrooms, but now I'm taking mushrooms, and I don't know what this is anymore.
And it also does not help that it kind of makes your stomach hurt.
Well, yeah, 'cause
That just
you're-
doesn't
it's-
help
it's
either.
I mean, you're really poisoning yourself, is what you're doing. Like,
I don't know. Is it called poison?
It's some sort of poison.
Well, everything
It's
we
a
do.
form of poison.
Yeah.
yeah, but it
You
can't.
can tolerate it. It can't kill you.
It
I
can't
don't
even
think
hurt
it
you
can
though. Like
kill
there's
you.
not even effects
Really,
to
you
it.
might puke, but other than
Yeah.
that, but that's just part
I
of it. That's where you gotta
think
get-
also, but
Well, you can do that with booze too. So it's like people who drink
Yeah,
a bunch
but-
of booze,
but-
and
but-
it's like,
but
I
you-
don't like to puke. And it's like,
But you
well,
can
why
take
you
so
drink
much.
some?
But you can very easily drink yourself to death. Like, can you overdose on mushrooms? Do we know?
Not that I've known. I don't know if there's been any. I don't know if there's been any but
I think
recorded.
I mean, I think maybe I don't know. I don't think anyone's ever had like enough to, or they have, but didn't take enough. For some reason, I'm not even against. I'm not trying to be like a shrooms are awesome, man. But like the poisoning yourself, I don't think just because it makes your stomach hurt to call
I don't
it
think it's
poisoning
enough,
or
no.
poison.
No, but it does. Like that's what I've heard people call it. It's you're poisoning yourself, sort of thing. Same thing with ayahuasca. That's why it's like if you drink ayahuasca,
Yeah,
you're gonna puke every time. 10 times out of 10, you're gonna puke. Like there's no not puking with ayahuasca. It's like you're putting some brew in your stomach and it fucks with your head, and then you puke.
I gotta think
But
about
at the
how.
same time, puking, like it puts so much blood to your head, like it makes the experience more intense.
That to me would be horrifying.
It would.
I've
be.
never done it, but it seems like the worst time you could ever have.
Ayahuasca,
No. I would like to do that, but
having to puke.
throwing up while you're tripping,
Yeah.
like you are barely holding on, and then now you're doing something that's hard to deal with when you're stone cold
Yeah.
sober.
I had a buddy who would puke pretty much all the time just because his throat was shot. And we took acid and he started puking. But he was under the idea that if you drank orange juice, it would make the acid trip more intense. So he drank orange juice and then he puked and he started freaking out. He was like, why am I puking? I feel like we're poisoned. I was like, no, you just puke all the time. And he was like, oh, yeah. And then we were fine.
Well, see, and
that was it. That was the end of it. He was like, I do puke all
that's
the
what's
time.
scary about certain things. That's what's, because even honestly, like me with the mushrooms, when it kicked in and you start feeling these things, and there's a part of you that's like, what if these are the wrong kind?
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you-
You always fuck
What
with
if this
yourself
is
that
the
way.
bad time?
Yeah,
What if this is the wrong one?
Yeah, like what if this is the thing that kills you? Like that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
Because I've had times, like I said, I feel like I don't know if I feel like I still can almost say I've had more difficult times on eating pot edibles because I used to like I never smoked, but I used to like on
That's a completely different thing.
yeah it's hard, and I used to like on purpose be like I'm gonna eat this whole thing and see what the fuck happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Balls to the wall, baby.
there was a thing, even as shitty as that got, where you could, in my head, I could always go, this is weed, it can't hurt you. It was like a thing I had where I would be like, this is weed, it can't hurt you. This is weed, it can't hurt you. This is weed, it can't hurt you. And with the mushrooms, just because of the idea that some mushrooms can kill you, or you do by, who knows, like, I was still able to do that, but it was harder. It was more difficult to get to that point of being like, no, you did mushrooms. Like, no, you did mushrooms. No, you did mushrooms. No, you did mushrooms. Yeah, and so what I guess what I get is like, so acid would be way scarier. Yeah. Because that's just fucking piece of paper.
Piece of
Molly
paper or some fucking liquid.
Molly was really scary because of that.
I've never done Molly.
Because
Molly, is it in tablets or a powder?
It's if
Both?
if it's in the. I think it's mostly powder if you consider it Molly. So it was in like gel caps. It was like in
Okay.
pill caps, you know.
Okay.
And that was especially like horrifying for a minute. It ended up being amazing, but it was really scary. It was really scary in the beginning because the come up is harsh. Like the come up is like it's so fast and your heart starts beating and like everything, and then you go like you don't know what the fuck's in this, and that's just true. That's just 100% true. Like the stuff I got. I don't know why I'm worried about getting in trouble. The stuff I got. The person who got it.
Name names.
No, the person who got it from someone on the dark web. Like, that's how like faceless the whole transaction was.
Yeah.
So if you take something like that and then you start feeling a little jittery, like there's no safe spot in your brain to where you can be like, well, this can't hurt you. You're just like, oh
Yeah.
no, this could totally be the thing.
It
This
might
could
be-
totally fuck your
It
life
might
up.
be the one thing.
Yeah, and then luckily with that it did become so fucking blissful. You're like, nah, I'm good. But it's but it was so scary. It was so like that was probably the most scared I've been. That shook me hard. I sat down like, you okay? You good? You good? I'm like, no, I'm fine. And it was seriously like it was like you want water, and I was like, yeah. And like just like you're
Yeah.
fine, like trying to be okay for like
Yeah.
10, 15
Let
minutes.
me figure this out real quick.
Yeah, because like I said, I keep repeating myself, like, but there's no like safety, nothing to rest on where you knew you're gonna be okay.
Yeah. That's part of it. Drugs are fun, everybody. Drugs are fun. They can be dangerous, but they are real fun. And that's always the thing is they are even the bad. They're real fun. That's always the fucked up thing about everything that's bad for you. It's always real fun.
It's a great time.
Whether it's drugs or fucking booze, it's always real fun. You always have a good time. That's
Yeah.
with Coke, especially. Coke's
Most of the
real
time.
fun. You always feel terrible the next day, but god damn it, it's real fun when you're
it-
doing it.
Yeah, you
Oh
said
yeah.
It's so fucking fun.
you just. It's
Before
just
we
like
get in on that, we may have to change batteries again.
Change them again.
how long is this damn thing coming out?
I don't know. How long have we
doesn't
been
really
going?
matter.
Before we all started
And we're
admitting.
down to
just-
one bar again.
But how long are we?
It's
I have no idea.
it's 2 a.m.
Well, we can wrap this up. Let's get the new batteries and let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
You listen to the Joe Kelly's Van Chronicles, motherfuckers.
Also, for some reason, I know
We're
it's.
an hour and 30 minutes right now.
But that's with the other fucking tape too.
I mean, we can go
I think it's.
forever if you want to. I mean, it's up to you.
I don't care how long it goes.
You're gonna have to edit it.
I'm getting to be like some reason a little bit of a pussy about wanting to just be like every drug I ever did, like just being like yeah, and then doing blow and fucking blah, blah. I did a Molly and fucking yeah. It's like I don't know why I care so much about it, but some part of me is like
When should we stop this podcast?
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for checking out. It's been fun. Josh Lewis, Josh Wagner.
oh thank you.
It should have been cut fucking minutes ago, I'm sure. But welcome to Trash Cast Part 2. We'll do Part 3 very soon. And we're all going to be friends right now and comfort each other.
And that's it. And that's the Trash Boys. Part 2 of the Trash Boys coming on the Van Chronicles. This one live from Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. Did you listen? Did you see why Wagner got punched in the face, everybody? He got punched in the face because he was trying to be Johnny Law, and he got punched in the face. And sometimes you got to get punched in the face if it's going to, make you sober, I guess. Like there's always the metaphorical way of getting punched in the face or kicked in the face. It's like, man, just got kicked in the face, changed my life. Wagner got punched in the face for real. And I'd be lying if I said he didn't have it coming. I love him. I wish he didn't get punched, but he's he stuck it out. He hasn't had a drink since, and I think he's going to keep being sober for a while, losing some weight too. He's already losing weight. He's looking better, feeling better. So I'm happy for him. Lewis, your hemorrhoids, I hope they cleared up. I love those guys, man. They're my best friends. Keep looking out. We're going to do some shit this year. 2018 is going to be the year of the trash. You watch. I'm going to motivate the fuck out of those guys. We're going to make some shit happen. We're going to fuck this world up. Believe it. Thanks for checking out the podcast, everybody. Once again, you can follow Wagner on Twitter at ComedyManJoshua. Josh Lewis, you can find him on Twitter and Instagram at TheJosh from TN. Myself, Joe Kelly, I am at Utilize Shrooms on Twitter and Instagram. You can also check out my store, utilizeshrooms.threadless.com, and my website, joekellycomedy.com, Kelley. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. I appreciate your time, everybody. I will talk to you very soon. And as always, take care of yourself and take care of somebody else.